Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is a story about what if Naruto the strongest hollow harem. Before I start, please support for more amazing content, and do consider subscribing to my channel and share this video with your friends. This is written by Houkaru Kisaragi and link in the description and support writer. Let's start the video. Kyuubi no Yoko, the monarch of all demons and the ultimate sovereign amongst his race, was sealed pathetically into an infant's soul. Unfathomable anger and vehement hatred couldn't even describe the cornucopia chain of utter disgust the demon was experiencing currently. He loathed the ineptitude of the Sandame Hokage and the palpable foolishness the Yandame Hokage possessed. What truly deepened Kyuubi's undeniable animosity towards mortals was the fact his vessel was assassinated due to an unseemly political constitution. The village's obdurate councilmen proclaimed themselves as righteous and judicious beings, but Kyuubi knew that they were frail mortals, egotistic and self-infatuated, who feared their inevitable fate and passed the despicable judgment upon a child's life, death. Sarutobi Hiruzen's futile attempt to overrule the antagonistic punishment was a failure. Naruto Uzumaki was sentenced to death. With his soul bound to the child's, Kyuubi reluctantly accepted his undesirable destiny and was sent to the afterlife. Never knew the day will come where I will rot in this god-forsaken place. Kyuubi hissed in bitter disdain at the desert before him. He had retained his enormous size and his ungodly strength, but what irked the demon was the mask that had concealed his feral features. Is this what you want, Kami? Is this how you project harmony and your everlasting love to your own creations? No, this is not what I wanted. A feminine voice intruded and the demonic fox swirled to his side, only to see a sphere of light gliding in the atmosphere while radiating pulses of serenity at him. I have given freedom to the humans, but unfortunately, they have misused their rights. Young Naruto's death is a tragedy, but fate itself can't be reversed. The atonement of sins will be conducted, rest ensure, Kyuubi growled. Is that it? You're just going to sit comfortably in your throne and watch everything unfold like it's a hilarious show to you or something? I've been manipulated by a selfish ingrate, massacred countless of souls unwillingly, and was condemned to this world due to unforeseen circumstances, yet, all you do is spouting blasphemous crap. Save me the pity, Kami. I have seen enough. The orb of brilliant glow floated towards Kyuubi and halted its position between the demonic fox in a close proximity. You have been one of my proudest creations, Kyuubi. I nurture you, guide you and aid you when I know you're lost in your mission to restore balance in the mortal world. Even if you lack an autonomous discipline, I have never abandoned you. You're my pride, my champion and most importantly my son, Kyuubi. All creations are your children, Kami. Now that I'm dead, I no longer serve you. Enveloped by the night breeze, Kyuubi stared at the moon impassively. I will continue to seek incessantly the truth of my existence. In the process, I will savage through the ranks of supreme dominance in this barbarous world and announce my rulership to all creatures residing within his sands. Farewell, mother. We will not meet again, regardless of your omnipresence. Young Naruto will one day gain control of your body. When that day comes, you will be plunged to the abyssal depth of consciousness, locked in a prison for the rest of your immortality. Do you not fear? I'll make sure that day doesn't come. Within split seconds, Kyuubi dissipated into a violent air force, leaving the mystical sphere in a silent solitude. Kami shed a sorrowful tear as the orb dissolved into nothingness. The goddess had already anticipated the imminent future. Goodbye, my child. The demonic entity was perplexed at how the cannibalistic anarchy worked in Hueco Mundo. All Kyuubi knew about the world was the fact that he needed to devour countless of souls on a daily basis for the sake of survival. Pondering momentarily, he stumbled through a den of hollows and coincidentally overheard their heated debate, which caught his piqued interest. I'm saying if we manage to kill one of the Vasto Lord, our strength will increase significantly. One of the hollows sneered. Another hollow retorted in frustration. You're delusional. Finding one is a lot of effort, fighting one is impossible. You could get us all killed, then what do you expect? Quavering in this dump and hope that we will be stronger by doing nothing. Unable to suppress the urge to acquire pertinent details, Kyuubi invaded the hollow's territory and revealed himself. Mind elaborating what you have just said? About the whole Vasto Lord fiasco? The hollows widened their eyes in terror. They had not sensed the monstrosity's presence beforehand. Stood before them was a gigantic fox, which had intimidating fangs bearing to its audience when the demon grinned. 9 tails lengthened in a sheer magnitude of impossible degrees in a mask, that had twin diabolic horns sprouting out from the apex of the cranium, fixated on the fox's face. The leader of the pack gulped the fearful lump in his throat and spoke uncertainly. Who are you? My identity is of no business to you. I want answers and I will get it. Kyuubi finally released a segment of his spiritual pressure, and it crashed brutally upon the terrified hollow's "Answer me, or you will feel my wrath. This hollow has a decent amount of Ryatsu, there is no need to fear him. Once we feast on him, we will become stronger than ever," the superior hollow amongst the group declared, which gave the rest of the hollows enough motivation to assault the beast. Bunch of fools. Without hesitation, Kyubi seized his assailants with his claws and consumed them remorselessly. A few hollows decided to imitate their attacks from behind, but before they reached the demonic fox, Kyubi's tail had already pierced through their abdomen. Fending against his enemies laxly, Kyubi was ignorant of a hollow, which had an effulgent crimson globe within its mouth ready to discharge the firepower at the appropriate timing. Reaching the climax of the attack, the hollow screamed. "Siro!" The demonic fox turned his attention to the potent blast that was charging threateningly towards him. When the vibrant beam of chaos collided onto Kyubi, a deafening explosion erupted. Assuming a victorious battle had concluded, the hollow smirked. "I got him!" When the smoke cleared, the hollow was frightened beyond cognition as his opponent was unscratched. "Consider this a testimony of my unconditional mercy that I don't smite you now. Tell me all about hollows and how does this place works?" The hollow immediately sped away, but his meaningless intention to escape was nugatory as Kyubi's tail shot towards the escapee and caught the hollow in a tightening strangle. "Let me repeat myself for the last time. Spill the beans and tell me everything about this world or I'll show you what hell's like. Please don't kill me. I'll tell you. Just don't eat me." Kyubi narrowed his eyes to vicious slits. "Then tell me. My patience is not limitless. This desert is just corruptions and death. We have to kill to survive and feed on other souls to ease our own. When a hollow grows stronger, it will be infused with other hollows and become a Jillian. They are mindless buffoons which hold no conscience. Only those Jillians that don't lose its mind manage to eat its own kind and grow stronger. When the time is up, the Jillians will transform into the next phase, the Ajuchas. They are stronger than ordinary hollows. Now the challenge comes, only specifically chosen Ajuchas hollows can become Vasto Lord. They are the last and final stage of our transformation. That's all I know. Please spare my life." Contemplating momentarily, Kyubi eyed the hollow critically and spoke. "How long does it take to become Vasto Lord?" "I don't know, but I do know if you eat powerful Shinigami, you will increase your powers exponentially." "See, can I go now?" A sinister grin tugged at the demonic entity's lips. "You know, I try to be nice just now, but you're a pain in my ass." Instantly, Kyubi lowered his jaw and consumed his helpless victim. Courts of pure souls, there are countless reports of numerous sightings of hollow attacks recently throughout the human world. Something is going on and something must be done to stop such outrageous acts. A man, who had a tan complexion, unkempt violet hair cascading down his waist that sparked his wildness appearance, and wearing a stark white haori with the kanji 2 embedded on the back of the coat, announced in authority. "And what do you suggest, Shihoin Taicho?" Jinrei Kichiki, the current royal head of the prestigious clan, Kichiki, responded apathetically. Perceiving the intense verbalization might escalate into an aggressive level, Jushiro Yukitake interrupted. "Why don't we just send a few men to the world of the living and investigate? That is the best solution at our crisis now." "Oh yeah? Sending a bunch of your incompetent soldiers to an unknown battlefield?" "Yukitake Taicho, I must say that your suggestion is a whole new mountain of stupid." The head of the Shihoin clan scoffed haughtily. "I believe sending reliable and adequate warriors to the world of the living are much more applicable, based on our current situation. I'm willing to dispatch my troops. What do you say, Sotei Shidano?" Genryosai Shigekyun Yamamoto, captain commander of the entire military force and Soul Society, nodded. "Very well. We'll have your..." At that moment, a gargantuan volume of malevolent spiritual pressure slammed upon them. The malicious and twisted Ryatsu lingered in the atmosphere, which caused the captains to cringe at the nefarious force. Retsu Unohana frowned as she recognized the overwhelming, yet unpleasant Ryatsu belonged to a hollow. Such power, such evil presence, this hollow must be unbelievably strong to possess such spirit energy. The door creak opened and a guard dashed into the meeting chamber hastily. "Yes, sir, we received news that a humongous hollow is attacking northwest of Suriidai. The hollow is currently approaching the Sokayaka Hill." "Northwest?" The Shihoin leader paled. "That is where the Shihoin Manor is." "Oh no! My daughter! Yorichi-chan. She's at home, I must leave." Without allowing another moment of delay, the captain of the 2nd Division vanished into a charging air torrent. Slamming his staff on the wooden pavement, the captain commander bellowed. "Move out! Prepare for battle! That poor bloke is right after all, the souls here taste very delicious." Kyubi licked his lips as he savored the wonderment taste of his meal in delight. His arrival was a mark of total catastrophe as he annihilated the Soul Reapers with relative ease before absorbing their souls. He could feel his innate strength increased spontaneously to astonishing amplitudes. Sensing a frenetic cadence of spirit energy nearby, the demon switched his attention to the source and spotted a trembling girl with short purple hair looking at him in dreadful distress. "Oh? You survived my onslaught, little girl. What is your name?" Sweats formed on the girl's temples as she winced under Kyubi's scrutinizing glaze. "Yorichi Shihoin." The demon sniffed the girl who had an abnormal load of spirit energy stored within her and grinned. "She will grow up to become a very powerful and dangerous Shinigami in the future." "That's good. Very good. All I need to do is to give her the right motivation, and she will be a very tasty main course meal for me. Do you want to live, little girl? And my father taught me that life as a warrior means we should accept death anytime." Yorichi's volume toned barely audible as each syllabus was articulated. "Too, I'm not afraid of you. Your skills in the art of deception are awfully horrible. Honestly, I can't believe you're trained to be a ninja. You're sweating more than your usual rate, unless you're telling me you experience often severe anxiety attacks. Your fingers are twitching uncontrollably and your left eyebrow is agitating in obvious trepidation. Your pupils are dilating, most likely due to traumatic stress or fear, perhaps." The sadistic smirk plastered on Kyubi's features. Additionally, the demonical structure of the hollow's mask perturbed Yorichi deeply. Clenching her fist in consternation, the Shihoin heiress yelled shakily. What do you want?" The gigantic fox hollow laughed hysterically at the question. "I'm here for a tea party. Of course I'm here to kill all of you. But I won't kill you, you're very special to me. I want you to watch how I kill your neighbors, your friends, and most importantly your fami." Heido number 63. Soren Sokatsui. A burst of vibrant indigo inferno rampaged through the air and engulfed the unprepared Kyubi. The demonic fox roared in agony as he could feel the fierce flames penetrating through his armor. Meanwhile, the intruder manifested himself in front of Yorichi and pulled her into a warm embrace. "I'm sorry, my dear. Daddy is home. It's going to be okay. Son of a, you're a nasty little fellow, aren't ya?" Observing the attire of his opponent, Kyubi grinned. "Oh? A Captain Shinigami? This must be my lucky day." The head of the Shihoin clan stood up in formality and readied a battle stance. "Don't be a fool, Hollow. Today is your funeral." "Oh my! My funeral? That's horrible. I'm going to cry now." The Shihoin leader narrowed his eyes at the sight of his enemy's mockery and scowled. That Heido was supposed to kill him. His high-speed regeneration is truly superb for withstanding my spells. Not that I'm overestimating this Hollow, but something is telling me not to put my guard down against this mindless beast. Kami forbids what will happen if this Hollow manages to destroy Soul Society. Not that it will ever happen. Judging from this Hollow's Ryatsu, I will say it's at an Ajucha's level or more. Kyubi sneered at his adversary. "Judging my abilities, I see? Foolishness. You haven't seen what I'm capable of yet, and you dare make absolute, unreliable assumptions of me. Allow me to show you what true horror is." As the demon had articulated his statements, all of his 9 tails rose and gradually pointed their tips in a structural assemble at the Soul Reaper. Momentarily, a humongous sphere, illuminating a dangerous white glow, encased with excessive amount of concentrated ferocious heat, materialized in between the 9 tails. Further inspection being made, the captain of the 2nd Division was bewildered at the fact that the tails were serving as a medium to channel an abundance volume of disastrous energy into the ominous orb. Destruction del Mundo Zero. World Destruction Zero. Wavering in choices, the Shihoin leader had no choice but to flee with his daughter. The result was the globe of energy sprouting an array of binding beams scattering randomly at unpredictable directions in a hazardous measure. Kyubi chortled wickedly at the detrimental mayhem he had brought to Soul Society, and the ruthless accomplishment he had made. His heightened senses allowed him to hear countless of cries and screams while he enjoyed heartily at their suffering as series of explosion occurred. "Are we having fun yet? Let's increase the pace up a notch, shall we?" Kyubi opened his bloodied mouth, revealing his sets of deadly fangs. Instantly, a white sphere of brilliance energy shined its iniquitous glow from the Hollow's tongue directly at the towers constructed beside the Sokaika hill. Without delaying any further, the demon discharged his assault and launched a ray of devastation at his target. Ultimo Dios Zero. Ultimate God Zero. The buildings erupted into a stray of lava bombs and more casualties were confirmed. Pathetic. Is this what death gods are capable of? I miscalculated the strength this people possessed. Now, where is that insignificant speck? Reduce all creation to dust, Ryujin Jaka. Kyubi shielded himself from an incoming blast of flames dispassionately with his tail, and yawned. So they've sent the big guns here, huh? Genryosai Shigakuni Yamamoto, I have been waiting for you. Arriving to the scene in a sonic blur, the Captain Commander opened an eye and stared at the diabolical fox sternly. Kyubi no Yoko. I never thought you would become a hollow. Kami-sama must have forsaken you to let you fall to such state, the demon growled in rage. How dare you bring my mother into this? You don't know anything about my mother. I love her, and she loves me. That's all that matters. Really? And why did she willingly watch you die in the world of the living and doesn't commit herself to do something to save her precious son? Do you mind enlighten me with your infinite wisdom, Kyubi no Yoko? Genryosai mocked the demon insouciantly. Or do you have nothing to say? Face the fact, you're nothing but a demon. You're a mistake from the start. Kami's greatest mistake is to give you the essence of life and empower you with the force of the invincible. You will pay for what you have said, Shinigami. Kyubi's tails surged into the sky before plunging into the ground. The Captain Commander was confused, but nevertheless he didn't dismiss his guard and waited patiently. Instantly, a column of obscuring light ascended from the ground and swallowed Genryosai with definite excruciating pain to come. Juishio Divino Zero. Divine Judgment Zero. Jushiro and Kairaku were horrified to know that their unbeatable mentor was supposedly defeated in the hands of the Hollow, and unhesitatingly drew their blades for battle. We will avenge you, Genryosai Dano. Kyubi was unfazed when the two students charged directly at him with the pure intention to kill. Foolishness. Furioso Rei Zero. Raging King Zero. Twin crescent waves of unsurmountable burning flames emerged from the soil and slammed brutally at the Shinigami captains, sending them soaring away to the other continents of Soul Society. How weak. I don't even need to use my full power to conquer this land. Don't forget about me. The head of the Shihoin clan sped towards his foe, but his trajectory paused shortly to none. What? You're dead, Shinigami? Father! Yoruka's scream of anguish made the captain realize that Kyubi's tail had pierced through his chest. Blood gashed from the Shihoin leader's grave wound when the demon removed his tail laxly and tossed the deceased Soul Reaper to the sobbing Yorichi's location. Hate me, little girl. Remember today and remember me. Today is the day where I have brought cataclysm and despondency to everybody, especially to you. Curse me, scorn me, and embrace yourself with all the hate you can master. When you're prepared, come to me when you have enough power to kill me. The Shihoin princess abhorred the demon, detesting him inwardly as she cried beside her father's corpse. Oh, by the way, little girl, your father's soul tastes very good. Yorichi had enough. Seizing a broken blade from the cold pavement, the girl dashed towards the towering demon, only to be stopped by the Captain Commander. I see you survived my attack, haven't you? Fortunately for you, I do not wish to fight you yet. This fight is over. Consider yourself as the victor. I'm too bored to continue. Until next time. Kyubi made his last wrathful roar, emitting powerful shockwaves throughout Soul Society. Fear the might of Dios del Apocalipsis. I will be back, and when the next time I return, I'll make sure all of you die. Consider this an act of mercy to all of you pitiful souls out there. Peace out. The fabric reciprocal of the atmosphere ripped in a static resonance before a dark dimension appeared. Kyubi grinned triumphantly at the Soul Reapers and ambled casually into his world while laughing atrociously in pure amusement at Soul Society's downfall. One thing was certain after the grievous incident happened. Yorichi's life changed, and she had only one vengeful purpose to uphold: kill the devil who murdered her father. Dios del Apocalipsis, I swear to the honor of my clan and upon my father's status, I will hunt you down and destroy you with my blade. Your death will be beautiful. I will see it through and claim the price of my revenge. A century later, have you heard of the devil of Hueco Mundo, Grimjiao? Shalong Kufang asked. He goes by the name Dios del Apocalipsis, the god of apocalypse in Hueco Mundo. Yeah, what of it? Grimjiao Jagerjax, the panther and the superior of the pack, said monotonously. He has a fearsome reputation of holding the record of being undefeated for decades. Rumor has it that he went into a den of Vasto lords solely and extinguished them all by himself. The Hollows have speculated that he has most likely attained the rank of a Vasto lord as well. Shalong stated. This proves the fact that if we manage to eliminate a Vasto lord ourselves, we might be able to reach the impossible. D. Roy Linker decided to add his 2 cents in the conversation. That's insane. We'll be killed. Don't be a fool, D. Roy. Yilford Grands bellowed. Our purpose in this desert is to get stronger. It is risky to fight Vasto Lord, but if we pounce on one of them in an ambush, we might win. Yeah, we got Grimjiao-sama here with us. Edrad Lyons announced proudly. Everything is possible. Nikin Green Dina merely grunted. Sniffing the air attentively, Grimjiao frowned. Hey, something is up. The group traveled towards the scent and was stunned to know that they had reached the forbidden ground, Las Noches. A primitive growl was emanated from the Panther King as he saw the self-proclaimed egocentric king of Hueco Mundo, Barragan Luzenbarn, confronting a humanoid hollow who had devilish horns adjoined on the sides of his forehead, a pair of exoskeleton wings adorned with crimson armor plates on his back, a slim but muscular physique and 9 swaying tails with no visible hollow hole. What truly intrigued the pack were the eulogizing entity's slitted eyes and the intimidating aura he was radiating. Speaking of the devil, Xiaolong shifted uncomfortably. The legendary Dios del Apocalipsis is here. How strange. Is he forming a mutual bond with Barragan-sama? A guy like him is destined to be alone. Forging an alliance with other hollows is unheard of, especially in Hueco Mundo. Someone like him won't need any alliance anyway. Sweats formed on Grimjow's features as he felt a tormenting load of pressure crashing upon him. Fuck. I'm not even standing near him, and it's already taxing, even for someone like me. I hate to admit, but I don't even think that guy has even released a portion of his spiritual pressure. Is this really what a Vasta Lord is? Barragan slumped into his throne, his elbow resting on the armrest while he leaned against his face on the surface of his bony fist. The king had heard of the notoriety of the devil and his cruel acts in Hueco Mundo. Some ambiguous hollows even went as far to create exaggerating hoax of the god of apocalypse destroying soul society in his conquest to gain power. What brought you here, Dios del Apocalipsis? Are you intending to join me and become my general? Are you here to serve me? The paramount entity chuckled darkly, petrifying the surrounding hollows. Join you? Serve you? Hell no. I'm here to kill you. And why? QB smirked. Stop asking me inane questions. It's overrated. Barragan studied his enemy's aristocratic features. QB bore an elegant appearance of a blond male who looked similar to a young adult human and had whisker marks on his cheeks. You dare challenge me? I'm the king of Hueco Mundo, and the blond demon scoffed and crossed his arms. You're just a pompous newborn Vasto Lord. Nothing biggie really. DeRoy arched a brow. Newborn Vasto Lord? Xiaolong nodded but never left glances at the scene as he elaborated further. Vasto Lords have their own personal hierarchy. The weakest of all Vasto Lords, the newborn, though stronger than Ajuch's Hollow, they are not as powerful as those experienced battlers amongst their kin. The next in line, the noble, they are stronger than the newborn due to their vast wisdom and maturity in utilizing their power perfectly. The last and the top echelon of the Vasto Lord race, the Majesty, they are the rarest and the strongest of all hollows, almost godlike. Yilford queried in confusion. Then what is Dios del Apocalipsis's rank? I'll have you know that you should never underestimate me, you ant? QB grinned. I will never underestimate you. Of course, you will be a very delicate meal though. Barragan laughed hollowly in sheer arrogance. Don't be a fool. If you want to kill me, then you have to go through my dragons first. Dragons? Barragan's generals blitzed towards QB. Exhaling a tired sigh, the demon hoisted a hand up and opened his palm wide. Instantly, the offenders were crushed and obliterated into grey dust. Don't make me laugh. Your pretentious dragons / Ajuchas wish to defeat me? I bet you couldn't even beat the roaming Cuatro Jinetes del Apocalipsis. Cuatro Jinetes del Apocalipsis? Do they work for Dios del Apocalipsis? Edrad asked. What are they anyway? As the title suggested, the Four Horsemen of Apocalypse is a group of notorious Vasto Lords that disintegrate any opposing foes that stand in their way. The funny thing is they don't work together, apart from conquest and death, who fight together because they're biological brothers. I'm not sure about war and famine. Of course, those are mere titles, their names are confidential. Only those they have slain know about their true names. Xiaolong replied. And if my intelligence didn't fail me, all of them are noble rank and they don't aid Dios del Apocalipsis in any ways. Grimjo snarled. How do you know all this shit? I have my own ways of doing things. Those four pathetic fakes? Their power is probably a fabrication to cover up their weakness. I am the king of Hueco Mundo. There is nothing above me or beyond me because I'm a god. Barragan spoke, slightly annoyed that his personal guards were killed too easily. Raising himself from his seat, the king pulled an enormous axe out from his cloak. Grand Sita. QB applauded mockingly, and retained the urge to exhibit his perspicacious judgment. Well said, God. But do please make up your mind whether you're a god or a king. It's very unnerving to know you're both at the same time. You catch my drift? Oh, just to give you a little fun fact. I don't have 6 legs, 2 antennas on my head and 3 body components. Well, I do hope I don't, because that will be very uncool of me. Without allowing another second of delay, Berrigan darted towards his blonde nemesis and swung his axe vertically downwards. Die, maggot! Quirking his trademark maniacal smirk, QB vanished and reappeared behind Berrigan with his palm exposed at the king's back before muttering, Siete Estrellas 0, 7 star 0. A vibrant green orb of immense energy manifested before the blonde demon, accompanied with 6 small spheres of radiance hovering around the epicenter. When the command phrase was spoken, the smaller balls of energy transferred its power via tendrils of corrupted power and merged into the center globe, reinforcing its strength further before an undisputable current of wild energy shot at Berrigan. The king barely dodged as he relied on his sudden surge of speed to escape the genocide. Panting slightly, Berrigan growled as he noticed the previous assault had incinerated his kingdom, leaving an unrecognizable wasteland amongst the dune. How dare you? Oh? The king can't handle an ant? I don't bite though I chew. That's it. Respira. Dark mist emitted from Berrigan's mouth raced towards QB in an unbelievable speed. The blonde demon simply smirked impishly and pinched his nose. It's okay if you have bad breath, but you don't need to be proud of it. I mean, your breath stinks so much it's practically rotting everything. Here, let me help you taste your own medicine. Ley inversa. La reverse. The cloud of death halted in its tracks abruptly before returning back impetuously to its owner, and consumed Berrigan. The king screamed in affliction as he could feel his power depleted and his body decaying. What is this madness? I'm God. I'm the king. This is not supposed to end like this. How dare you, ant? Free me. Stop this right now. I demand you. How exhilarating to know that the contemptible king is so inferior. Anyway, you're the one who has the bad breath here. I only want you to smell it yourself. I really didn't know you will rot too. Oh well, perhaps you're not really a god like you claim to be, huh? The blonde demon grinned psychotically. Damn, this fight is as boring as hell. I'm not invigorated to say the least. You didn't even last more than 10 minutes. Well then, let's draw the curtain, shall we? Alma de drainage. Soul drain. As if on cue, Berrigan's spirit particles were absorbed swiftly into the QB's soul. Since you're dying, let me explain my personal abilities to you so you can die a peaceful death. Unlike your distasteful prowess in allowing you to rot anything that you touch, my abilities allow me to repel anything. So basically, I have total control of gravity, and this match is really a one-sided battle. Understand this. You let your arrogance get the better of you. After draining Berrigan's soul entirely, QB turned his attention to the bystanders and licked his lips provocatively. Grimjow snarled at the devil to mask his fear. Let's go. Shalong and the rest of the followers flinched at QB's patronizing glare before trailing after their leader. That kitty cat must be the famous Panther King I've been hearing about lately. Seriously, why does all the male populace residing in Hueco Mundo wants to be king, even though they're not? I find that very sad. Well, I do aspire to be one, but shrugging nonchalantly, the blonde demon discarded his musing and spread his wings before soaring to the night sky, leaving a trail of sand swirling on his vacated spot. Let's see, where do I go next? QB didn't have any designated destination to go. He just glided aimlessly in the sky, trying to search for some entertainment to kill time. How long have I been doing this? Maybe it's time for me to settle down, find myself a beautiful, strong and powerful mate and basically do nothing except hot sex, passionate sex and more sex. I heard Famine is a chick residing in the north continent of Hueco Mundo. I should check her out, but it will be troublesome if she thinks I'm trying to overtake her territories. In a spur of moment, a painful headache struck the blonde demon, causing him to land clumsily onto the sand. Clutching his head in sheer agony, QB screamed. What is this? What's happening you? You're not supposed to be awakened. Go back to sleep, you pest. Stop bothering me. This is my body, not yours. You have forfeited it to me the day you're born. Stop this. I'm not going to let you do this to me. Massive whirlwinds and hurricanes formed around QB's vicinity, as he struggled to gain dominance over his body. No. Stop this. Just go back to your cage and sleep. I will not let my reputation and existence be tarnished by the likes of you. Be gone. The pain got severed and intolerable. The blonde demon tumbled to the ground and slammed his head continuously onto the sand. Stop this. This is my body. Don't you get it? With my abilities, I can rule over this land with sovereignty. You're too optimistic and kind. You don't have the will to fight, let alone protecting others. Just give up and let me take control, you insolent fool. Eventually, the maelstrom died and the blonde collapsed onto the desert, panting tediously as he grasped for air. As he stood up, his eyes were no longer slitted, but a gentle sapphire-colored. Glancing at his surrounding in confusion, Naruto, for once in a very long time, finally spoke. Where am I? Where am I? Naruto pondered as he stared at the desert before him. I'm afraid you're in Hueco Mundo, boy. A mysterious presence intruded the blonde's thoughts. Alarmed at a possible threat, Naruto averted his sight to the source and was flabbergasted at the malevolent entity before him. Hello, I'm Death, and I'm your worst nightmare. Death, a skeleton being who wore a black cloak and wielded a typical scythe in one hand, was cackling sinisterly. Unfortunately, the blonde was unfazed. So you're Death and you're also your worst nightmare? No! I'm Death. And I'm your worst nightmare. Get it? An awkward silence intruded. Never mind. Forget what I just said. I'm Death. With a snap of his bony fingers, a tea table materialized between the two entities, along with a teapot, a tray of cups and a novel that came with the set. Death took a seat, poured himself a cup of warm beverage and took a sip. Ah! Nothing beats a warm cup of chai latte. Magnificent. Care to join me? What do you want from me? Death chuckled. Cutting straight to the cheese, huh? It isn't what I want from you. It is what I want with you. Naruto arched a perplexed brow. Isn't that the same? Really? Death scratched his skull in wonderment. I didn't know. What do you want? Oh. Death guffawed maliciously. I would love to have a slice of chocolate cheesecake. The blonde blinked dumbly. See chocolate cheesecake? Nah, I'm just messing with you. Taking another savory sip from his tea, Death wiped his jagged teeth with a napkin and chuckled gleefully. Take a seat, Naruto Uzumaki. Staring warily at the entity of obliteration, Naruto settled down on a small chair. So, are you not going to kill me? You have an outrageous sense of humor. I do not stereotypically kill souls for the sake of amusement. Eons ago, before you were born into this planet, before the first bacteria formed into existence, my sister and I created this universe. We are the true sovereigns of this world, and we govern our own legislation of life. My sister creates life, I create death. And trust me, Naruto, my immeasurable power exceeds my baby sister's divine omnipotence. But I am old. Older than my sister, older than this universe, and older than anything I could think of, so I would like to invite you to have tea with me. Naruto was sweating nervously. What the hell is with this guy? Ease, Naruto. I am here because my sister requests me to talk to you. Snapping his skeletal fingers, Death smirked as the blonde was struck with an intensified migraine. Naruto clutched his head in agony, and eventually the pain subsided. How do you feel now? What is that? Naruto panted anxiously. I have transported the knowledge of technological innovation to you, and the history of both the mortal world and soul society. Currently, the world of the living isn't tremendously advanced, but the knowledge you have just gained consists of invaluable intelligence from the distant future. Whatever you do with the information I have given to you is not up to me to decide. My mission is completed. I shall take my leave. Good day. Instantly, Death, along with his belongings, vanished. A century later, Naruto was smiling with joy at the fruition of his accomplishment. He had solely constructed a castle that emanated the sense of the medieval era. The interior of his palace was designed futuristically, that composed of incessant complicated technologies, sophisticated by advanced computers and many more. All I need now is a swimming pool, a waterfall, a forest, and my own personal botanic garden. Upon entering the main door of his house, Naruto clapped his hands and the lights illuminated within the castle. Ah! I always want to do that. Fill me in, Cortana. Cortana, an artificial intelligence built by the blonde as a housekeeper and a companion, spoke in a femininely monotone from Naruto's watch. I have refixed the ATS's quantum mechanics with several updated programs. It will be usable in a few minutes' time. Great! Naruto, dressed in his typical orange jacket and a pair of jeans, strolled serenely towards the kitchen and rummaged his fridge before grabbing his strawberry yogurt. The blonde had devised a machine that allowed hollows to successfully retain their morality, and in return, they would share a distinctive appearance of their former human self. Unlike a hollow that ripped their masks off, the blonde had no fragments of his former mask on his features. Naruto took a spoon from his kitchen drawer and started devouring his dessert. Yogurt is the best. Correction, ice cream tastes better. Cortana interrupted. No, ramen is much better. Correction, marinated fried lobster with oyster sauce tastes divine. No, grilled salmon with light pineapple and pepper sauce is better. Correction, stop arguing with me. Naruto yelled with childish chagrin. I'm the boss here and I'm always correct. Correction, the unfathomable mistakes you have made is more than the mistakes I have. You're a computer. You're not meant to make mistakes. Exactly. Naruto rolled his eyes in annoyance. Fine, you win. Damn it, I can't believe I'm losing an argument with a computer that I made myself. How depressing is that? Very depressing. Shut up. The blonde pouted childishly. Suddenly, the alarm on Naruto's watch rang. Master, there is a commotion outside of the castle. Perimeters have been breached. What should we do? The blonde placed his yogurt on the dining table and sighed. How many hollows? 2. 1 female Ajuchas and 1 male newborn Vasto Lord. Cortana essayed. Judging by their levels, they are no match to you. Naruto stroked his chin before standing up. Alright, I'll go check it out. Besides, I got nothing much to do anyway. Anko-chan, to what do I owe the pleasure of meeting you here? The humanoid hollow who had a mask that resembled an anaconda, pale skin with chrome scales and a swaying rattling tail was confronting a towering serpent. Orochimaru, I'm here to kill you! You always say that and always end up groveling in the sand. Even in afterlife, you're no match to me. You truly are pathetic. Orochimaru hissed. Now, get out of my way. I have a powerful hollow to kill, and will that powerful hollow be me? Orochimaru and Anko rapidly turned their attention to the intruder. Hello, I'm Naruto, resident of the Paradise Castle. The newborn Vasto Lord snarled anxiously at the blonde. You look flimsy and human. Are you not the legendary hollow, Dios del Apocalipsis? I have forsaken that title long ago. If you wish to fight, please leave here. Naruto smiled subtly. I have no desire to watch the two of you destroying my house. Unfortunately, I must reject your offer. Orochimaru pointed a finger at the blonde and suddenly, tendrils of diabolic energy manifested into a vermilion orb. You will die, and I will claim that magnificent powers of yours. Without hesitation, the energized sphere shot out a ray of shimmering beam at Naruto. Perturbed at the unmoving blonde, Anko screamed in trepidation. Get out of there, you moron! You will get roasted! To their dismay, Orochimaru's Siro was absorbed entirely into Naruto's hand and subsequently materialized into a glittering crystal. Interesting, isn't it? My ability, Absolute Defiance, allows me to repel against the law of nature. Say, what will you do if I reflect your Siro back to you 10 times the original power? Orochimaru widened his eyes in horror when a gargantuan blast of corrupted energy soared through the atmosphere and charged directly towards the newborn Vasto Lord. Instinctively, Orochimaru leaped upwards to avoid the incoming terror, but was stupefied when he felt a tightened grip at his shoulder and an intimidating presence behind his back. You let your guard down. Ametralladora Siro. Machine Gun Zero. As the command was articulated, Naruto fired countless of Siros simultaneously at Orochimaru's back within milliseconds. The newborn Vasto Lord crashed onto the sand as he screamed in agony. Now, for the main course. Cranio Inferno Siro, Skull Hell Zero. With a snap of his fingers, a violet column of flames ascended from Orochimaru's crash site. What truly intrigued Anko was the demonic skull animating within the Siro. The newborn Vasto Lord's limp body soared towards the night sky helplessly. Now, the Last Supper shall commence. Vaccio Diablo Siro. Devil Void Zero. Instantly, dark flames ignited from Naruto's fingertips. Adjusting his palm pointing at Orochimaru's free-falling frame in the sky, the blonde clenched his fist and swiped his arm firmly. A gargantuan monstrosity that resembled a fierce, oversized Grim Reaper manifested from non-existence. Its form was integrated by savagery energy, and it wielded a colossus blazing scythe, appeared before the grinning Naruto. This is my greatest creation amongst the list of my Siro attacks. The living Siro. Vaccio Diablo Siro. The Siro that only obeys its master, and kill those who oppose me. Don't kill him. Just send him away. The hideous giant abomination ruthlessly slammed the pole of its scythe at Orochimaru's stomach, effectively launching the newborn Vasto Lord to the next continent of Hueco Mundo. Naruto beamed at his creation before waving a farewell. Thanks for the help. See ya soon. The living Siro gave a friendly thumb up and dispersed into shreds of black energy before vanishing into nothingness. Naruto strolled casually towards the frightened serpent and smiled cheerfully. Now that the guy is gone, you may leave. And don't disturb me unless you're facing a conundrum. Anko bit her lower lips under her snake mask. Hey, the blonde spun around jubilantly. Yes? How may I help you? Why do you look so human? Naruto chuckled. I developed this technology that allows me to condense my spiritual energy into a form of a weapon. In my case, a claymore that I don't carry around with me often. The fun part comes where it also turns the hollow into their former human self. The human self that holds dominance over their hollow body will become what your human avatar looks like. And you look like a 15-year-old kid. Enko examined the boy keenly. Yup. My race is the new race of the hollow populace. I am an Arrancar. The hollow that has regained his or her humanity by tearing off his or her mask. Surprisingly, it does grant me newfound powers. The conclusive statement earned Enko's pique interest. Really? It seems that you wish to be part of it as well? The Arrancar movement? Usually, hollows can rip their mask off manually. However, there are many potential risks during the process. One of them is that the hollow will become vulnerable as the hollow is required to begin hibernation for a long time. However, my technology will eradicate the nonsensical process, and it will only take a couple of hours. Naruto stated formally. It sounds interesting. Of course. If you wish to become an Arrancar such as myself, you're welcome to my manor. I can guarantee you that I would provide asylum for you in my mansion and prevent any disruption during your transformation process. Naruto grinned impishly. So what do you say? Have you sensed that, Mei-sama? A female centaur hollow galloped towards her mistress. That powerful spiritual pressure. It is most likely at your level, Mei-sama. Could it be one of the horsemen of Apocalypse? Mei Terumi, a humanoid hollow who had a pair of metallic crimson wings, a cascading maroon hair, a phoenix mask embedded on her delicate features, was seating on her throne. The infamous syndicate, the Sisterhood, was governed by one of the notorious Cuatro Jinetes del Apocalipsis, Famine. Her power was vastly immense and indomitably unparalleled, feared by countless of hollows for her ungodly strength. Otherwise, the Sisterhood was simply a cult of feminists. No, Nilio, I have sensed it as well. None of the horsemen I have fought before could use such devastating powers. It is most likely Dios del Apocalipsis. How strange though. Mei stroked her chin. What is it, Mei-sama? His existence finally resurfaces once again. It has been a century since any hollow last heard of him. I wonder what he is trying to do. Mei sighed. And where did Enko go? She went to challenge Orochimaru again. Nilio exhaled a breath of solicitude. I hope she is all right. We shall wait for her return. The fallacy of the equation in the operation of making the perfect transaction from a hollow into an Arrancar was the volume of stabilizer serum needed to pump into the hollow's bloodstream in order to debilitate the imminent pain. Prior to the transformation process, the individual must be strapped and locked into a cylinder. In order to shorten the duration of the transformation, the pain that occurred would be tremendously overwhelming. If the individual was unable to retain the sudden surge of enormous spirit energy, it would be disastrous. Enko was a giant serpent, therefore a larger cylinder was needed. Luckily, the blonde had made preparation out of paranoia in the past, and used the spare, which was originally meant for reservation. When Enko was situated within the vessel, the blonde promptly typed a few keys onto the holographic screens. Cortana! Prepare for Phase 1. I want the tank fills with G1264 and readied the turbine and exhaust system before Phase 2 initiates. Yes, Master. The computer replied as it made the necessary preparation. Commencement of operation begins. Thermal influx rate rising. Sustaining life form. Imbuing life evolution essence into subject. I'll go cook dinner. She will be hungry when this is over. Naruto smiled before skipping optimistically to his extravagant kitchen. I think Enko-chan will be a fan for dessert. I'll go make some red bean paste soup for her. Mei-sama. Urgent news. Nilio bellowed frightfully. Danzo and his goons are trespassing to our territory. Danzo? How amusing. He believes that he can provoke me and assume I will sit back idly and watch him performing a futile espionage. He has underestimated the Sisterhood. Harabel. As if on cue, a humanoid hollow, whose body was the embodiment of an impenetrable armory defense, emerged from the shadows, showcasing the primal fear the Sisterhood could inflict to the intruders. I understand my mission. Godspeed, Harabel. And be safe. The female hollow nodded before vanishing into a static blur. A few hours later, Enko groggily opened an eye. Her visions were contrasting to the surrounding, but her blur sights were able to assay the tenebrous room. She felt soft sheets underneath her lithe frame and her mobility was returning. Twitching her slender fingers consciously, Enko gasped in shock. No longer were her fingers clawed and anomalously extensive. They were fingers akin to the humans. Enko sat up quickly and caressed her own face. She wasn't touching a typical cold mask. Instead, she was feeling the warmth of her cheeks. Indulging in reminiscence, Enko evaluated her situation and scanned the room. She was practically in a suite. There were elegant dark curtains, artistic coffee tables and a set of luxurious chairs. A magnificent bathroom connected to her room and an enormous painting of a harmonious waterfall scenario. Clutching the smooth silk of sheet, Anko wrapped the fabric around her exotic naked frame before slipping onto a pair of furry bunny shoes and walked towards the exit. Upon reaching the entryway, the metallic door slid upwards automatically. The former serpent was marveled at the technology, but focused on her path as she headed to the corridor. It was a grand passage, with doors embedded on the walls and a variety of paintings and vase, the epitome of grandiose. Anko descended from the spiral stairs and was fascinated at the modernistic interior design. "I see that you've awakened." The former serpent yelped and twirled around to see a blond boy, dressed in a loose black frock coat, white loose collar shirt and a black trouser, smiling at her. "Oh, the wardrobe malfunction. Come with me, I'll bring you to my fashion collections." Anko followed the enigmatic blonde blindly and ventured across the hall to enter a chamber. Flicking on the lights, Naruto grinned at the former serpent. "Welcome, this is my fashion parade. I used to go to the human world and purchase the latest gadgets along with their wicked sense of fashion. I have to give credit to the humans for inventing the rough collars and the overall tights. Seriously, they're so confining." Scanning the gorgeous vicinity shined with stylish trend of clothing, Anko stammered in delight. "This is so cool." "Indeed it is. From left to right dates ancient dress code to the future's next top model. Pick what you like. There are 1,000 different range of clothing for you to choose from. Just pick and Cortana will transport them to your room." Naruto chirped. How did you get all these? And who's Cortana?" "Cortana is this house's keeper and an artificial intelligence I constructed." The blonde chuckled. "When you have practically nothing much to do for decades, you pick up strange habits. You can say my hobbies are studying science and knitting clothes. You have a strange mind." Naruto stroked his fingers absently. "Genius is always remarked that way. I'll leave you to your own musing. Remember me wardrobe es su wardrobe. Dinner is ready soon." With that saying, the blonde vanished into a trace of dark blur, leaving sonic afterimages trailing his tracks. Anko grinned at the astounding wardrobe before choosing her pick. "Who do you think you are? How dare you place your filthy steps onto the sisterhood's territory, Danzo?" Harem growled. "And who might you be?" "Danzo Shimura, a humanoid hollow who had a mask of a reptile, a long tail hooked with a blade at its end, a cloak concealing half of his body and a palpable hole at his chest," sneered at the female hollow. It was an outnumbered match. Danzo had an army of hollows under his command. "You should mind your own business. This is my business." Harem aimed her sword at her enemies. La Gata! A pressurized bullet of condensed water, akin to the shape of a shark's fang, shot out from Harem's sword, in which the female hollow recoiled violently from her assault. Danzo smirked behind his mask as the deadly water bullet blasted at his torso. As blood coughed out from Danzo's mouth, Harem widened her eyes in consternation as she felt a sudden intensified pain at her breasts. It was as if reality swapped when she blinked. Danzo was standing tall and unharmed. She was lying on a puddle of her own blood and vigor enervated inconceivably. What? Harem sat up weakly as she wiped the blood from the edge of her lips. "Rest assured, it won't be pleasant to bifurcate you now. I have great use in you." Danzo's iniquitous smirk widened under his mask and raised a single digit pointing at the incapacitated female hollow. "Time for you to experience excruciating pain." "Siro!" Harem screamed at the affliction caused by Danzo's merciless onslaught. Crimson liquid pooled broader as Harem's limp hands fell onto her sides, her body scorching from the heated flames of Danzo's Siro, and her eyes barely opened. With a hand gesture, a few hollows materialized beside the barely conscious self of Harem. "Let her suffer total humiliation. Tear her mask off and throw her there. She will become the bait for me." And no stop sadistically, the hollows obeyed their master's orders and tore Harem's mask brutally while cackling wickedly at the helpless female hollow's state. "How do I look?" Anko swirled in circles. Catching a glimpse of the former serpent's outfit, Naruto spat his tea out indignantly. What are you wearing, Anko-chan?" "Something comfy, less restricting and still outshines my beauty." The blonde whipped his head up and down as he studied Anko's lascivious body. She was wearing a sleeveless black tank top with the word "Don't Get Punked" imprinted at the forefront of the fabric, which exposed her navel and her desirable curves. Lastly, Anko wore dark cargo pants, a white utility belt and a polished gothic boots that emitted an aura of boisterous wildness. "What do you think?" I think it really does embellish your beauty. You're very beautiful." Naruto's honest compliment earned him a vibrant streak of pink on Anko's cheeks. Thanks." The former serpent sat on the chair and was confounded at the plates of entree, main course and dessert atop the majestic, antiquated dining table. Please, there is no need for a punctilious formality. This isn't etiquette. Treat yourself at home. Anko inhaled the fragrance of the dishes and sighed blissfully. I thought humans food. When you become an Arrancar, you don't need to eat souls anymore. The voices in the back of your head are gone now. I consider ourselves vegetarian. We eat humans' food to replenish our energy, and similarly food restores our spirit energy. I see. I'm not sure what you prefer, so I cooked quiche Lorraine as the entree, grilled ribeye steak for the main course, and red bean paste soup for the dessert. Naruto smiled at Anko's expression of disbelief. I cook frequently as well. Taking a quick bite at her food, Anko devoured the food and cheered. Wow! I didn't know you're a jack of all trade. That's what happens when you have lots of free time in your hands. Naruto cut his steak traditionally and consumed the beef with a visage of unsurmountable serenity. I know you have many unanswered questions that you wish to discuss. Please do ask. I will try my best to give you the truth. I have this wakizashi on my bed and somehow I feel a connection with it. It's as if I'm part of it. What exactly is that sword? Let's just say that sword of yours is your Zanpakuto. It is a sentimental entity that possesses your latent strength. Once you unleash its power, you will return to your true form. However, I don't carry mine all the time. It is cumbersome to carry and troublesome during daily life basis activities. Naruto smelled the aroma from his glass of wine and took a savory sip. I guess your next question is the details of your newfound powers? Anko nodded ecstatically. Yes, as you have known, you can fire a Siro. There are a few terminologies that you must remember. Bala, Hiero, Sonido, Pesquisa and Garganta. Bala is only exclusive for our race. Although it might not be as strong as your ordinary Siro, it is faster. Hiero is, as its name implies, iron skin. It grants an individual defense for his or her body. The stronger you are, naturally, the stronger your Hiero is. Sonido is just a variation of Shunpa that hollows use. Pesquisa is another technique reserved only for an Arrancar. It allows an Arrancar to track down its enemies and gauge enemies' strength. Lastly, Garganta is a dimension-traveling portal. Digesting the vast amount of information, Anko sighed. I think I need a long time to master all of them. Don't worry. When everything is prepared and you have recovered from the arduous process, I will teach you all of them in my training ground. The former serpent beamed. So, do you remember your past life? Yeah. I'm a kunoichi from a ninja village called Konohagakure. I was murdered by my traitorous teacher, and from that day onwards, I swear an oath to execute my vengeance till the day I die. I will kill Orochimaru. Anko tightened her grip at her stainless steel cutleries. Revenge is an addiction. A resolve or a reason to continue our existence it might be, but it is dark and often leads to a sad solitude. Revenge might be an encouraging motivation to strive for the top, but when your mission is completed, your life becomes emptiness. Life becomes meaningless. There is no redemption, because there is no penitence to redeem your sins. Revenge is tempting, but only the strongest overcome their morbid desires. Naruto lectured with a tone of melancholy. Don't talk like you understand my pain. Anko bellowed in rage before she regained her mental composure and apologized meekly. I am sorry, it is all right. I have no right playing God in your life. Your path is for you to choose, not me. If you ever need consolation, I am happy to be there for you, Anko-chan. A red tint plastered on the former serpent's features. Thanks. What about you? Do you remember your past life? An awfully lugubrious ambience filled the room with a doleful silence. Naruto smiled sadly at his companion. I have no past. What do you mean by that? Oh. I get it. You forgot about it, right? No, I have no past. The blonde sighed as he placed his fork and knife neatly on the table. I do not have a past because I was murdered when I was an infant. Afterwards, my proverbial tenant took over my soul and reigned over the dessert. I have no control over my body back when I committed mindless carnage and cannibalism. I totally understand if you wish to leave due to insecurity. I am willing to share my sanctuary with you, but you are at risk for your life. Anko blinked. What do you mean by that? I am Dios del Apocalipsis. Naruto's pair of glowing sapphire eyes scared the former serpent as she gasped in fear at the blonde's declaration. You mean, that's right. They called me the god amongst hollows. I was a receptacle of evil who lacked compassion. After I've taken control over my body, I subdued my inner self and managed to control its power as well. Still, my tenant's true strength is unconquerable, and he is only imprisoned for a few centuries. It wouldn't be long before he tries to compete over my sanity. Why are you telling me all these? Because you need to know before you make your decision of staying here. Naruto looked at his food with troubled thoughts. So, he is the rumored strongest hollows in history. But from my point of view, he's just a lonely kid with nobody to talk to. I know what I have to do. Anko stood up from her chair and ambled towards the blonde before embracing him in a warm hug. I'm not leaving you, alright? I need you anyway. When that day comes, we will face it together. Naruto tilted his head upwards and stared at Anko with a buoyant smile tugging at his lips. Thank you? Abruptly, a sudden rose of spiritual pressure alarmed the pair. The blonde paused as he closed his eyes and tracked the source of the spirit energy. Interesting, my pesquisa tells me that a few hollow just left a stranded hollow alone in the desert outside my gate. I'm gonna check it out. Be careful. Anko's eyes glint a flare of concern. I will, Anko-chan. Naruto disappeared into a resonant static. Outside the main gate of Naruto's castle laid an unconscious woman. The blonde's coat swayed as the desert wind breezed by, his fists tucked inside his pockets as he speculated his surroundings. Weird, what is a hollow lying in front of my house? Naruto strolled towards his fellow blonde and knelt behind the hollow. Hey, are you alright? Is this a trap? Are you trying to kill me? Hello? Gently, Naruto flipped the hollow around and his eyes magnified to an exceeding degree. What the hell? Who did this to you? The lower half of the female hollow's face was drenched in blood. Naruto could even see traces of exposed flesh and several particles of sands contaminating the female hollow's grave injuries. This isn't good. What kind of vile, sick, twisted motherfuckers will do this to you? Ah, god damn it! The blonde carried the unconscious female, bridal-style fashion, and darted back to his laboratory. Cortana! Prepare the Arrancar transformation vessel and the regeneration factor vessel. Naruto situated the comatose hollow into a cubical chamber, and strapped her appendages firmly in place. Cortana! Alert me her pulse rate, and her blood pressure if it escalates chaotically. I want all medical procedure on standby. Encapsulation procedures on standby. ATV and RFV on standby. Pulse rate declining. Blood pressure declining. Master, if this continues, she will die. The computer responded emotionlessly. Then make sure she doesn't. I want the RFV to boost her state to 50% rate. After that, immediately starts the transformation process. Naruto typed a few keys onto a touchpad monitor and sighed. I never really tried to transform a dying hollow into an Arrancar before. I hope this will work. Cortana, if her pulse rate reaches critical level, stop the transformation process and start the regeneration process. Always make sure the 50% rate is constant throughout the course. Master, your method will interfere with her transformation process. There might be unforeseen consequences. There isn't any choice left. She will die if we give her a dose of the stabilizing serum straight away. That dose is only effective if the hollow's overall state is at a 50% health rate or above. I've already pushed the limit too far. Lesser than the 50% rate will kill her or render the chemical compound inert. Naruto frowned with determination. And I don't intend to lose her. Cortana, I want you to microinject her with the stem cells infusion serum every 25 seconds at the cervical, thoracic and lumbar region of her spinal column. The transformation process will only exacerbate the severity of her current condition if there isn't any catalyst to prevent possible degeneration. The serum will minimize the fatality. Yes, Master. Facilitation of the S-194 serum in process. SCI on standby. The computers were multitasking profoundly with its stupendous knowledge. Master, the prognostication of success rate, based on feasible statistical data, shows that she might not survive the process. Never try, never know. Just do as I say. Anko watched with rapt attention at the blonde's intellectual performance. She could see matrices of data reflecting in Naruto's eyes from the monitor screen and was mesmerized by the blonde's ingenious expertise in the field of science as he formulated plans with dexterity without compromising the conspicuous drawback of the operation. What should I do? Watch after her. Cortana will handle the rest. I have an epiphany and I know who did this to her. Naruto removed his lab coat and wore his former dark frock coat before storming towards his next destination. Danzo was sitting in his throne, watching his minions chattering while he schemed for his next conquest. He planned to lure the infamous horsemen of Apocalypse and disclose their identities before destroying them. He had found out Famine's identity, Mei Terumi, leader of the Sisterhood. Danzo did have intelligence on several other horsemen, but the reports were skeptical. Suddenly, a golden flash illuminated in the middle of the stadium before Naruto manifested his frame before Danzo. Oh, old fart! The hollows loyal to Danzo encompassed the blonde intruder. How dare you enter Danzo-sama's territory? You shall be slain for your foolishness. Die. Silence. Danzo bellowed, and the influence was contagious. Everybody obliged and went mute. I apologize for my subordinate's impudence. How can I help you, Dios del Apocalipsis? Upon hearing the nefarious title, the hollows trembled in vexation at the demonic entity before them. Stop pretending. You attack that hollow and rip her mask off from her face. That is your signature attack. How dare you? Oh? I'm sorry, but I don't recall ripping any hollow's mask off from any face recently. Naruto widened his eyes in realization. Oh shit! This is a trap. He purposely wants me to come to him so I can disclose of my location to him indirectly. That shrewd bastard. He planned this all out. Danzo, if you dare come near my territory again, I will finish the unfinished business years ago. Naruto grinned as he eyed Danzo's cloak, which was hiding his missing left appendage. I took away your left arm decades ago. Do you think taking away that right arm of yours will be any less difficult? Don't cross the line too far, Danzo. Or what's left of you will be nothing but dust. Remember that, you contemptible old fool. Within split seconds, Naruto dissolved into a torrent of jet stream. A few days later, Harabelle awoke lethargically, and was surprised that the first thing she saw was a dark ceiling. Attempting to draw herself into a sitting posture, the female blonde tired to rise but felt a hand pushing her back. Reacting to impulse, Harabelle struggled against the opposing force. However, her feeble intention was disrupted when she saw an unfamiliar blonde using his weight to pin her onto the bed by pressing his hands and legs on hers. It was then Harabelle noticed Naruto was flushing 5 different shades of red. She also caught a glimpse of her fellow blonde's averting cerulean eyes and concluded that Naruto was restraining his urge to look at her. Do I really look ugly to him? Harabelle pondered but momentarily realized that her fellow blonde was trying not to look at her chest. Curiously, the female blonde looked at her chest and instantly widened her eyes in wonderment. The once plated white armor enveloping her body was gone. Finally, Harabelle caught on. Naruto was avoiding gazes at her exposed ample bosoms resulted from her blanket sliding off during her initial struggles. Harabelle massaged her breasts and gave her assets a light squeeze while she moaned sultrily. Naruto choked. What are you doing? The female blonde stared at her fellow blonde in puzzlement before she registered the outline of her slim fingers. Is this a dream? The question was unequivocal, but Naruto perceived the austerity in Harabelle's enchanting emerald eyes. No, Harry-chan, this is not. Nor it is fantasy. This is reality. I saved you 2 days ago from the brink of death by transforming you into an Arrancar. This is your human avatar, and your predominant form. Really? Who are you? I'm Naruto Uzumaki. I will elucidate your condition to you tomorrow. Rest now. Naruto smiled affectionately at the female blonde before kissing her forehead, oblivious by Harabelle's fluster. Climbing out from the bed, Naruto pulled the blanket to Harabelle's neck level and spoke with a soothing tone. Good night, Harry-chan. I'll see you tomorrow. Good night. Harabelle closed her eyes and went into a peaceful slumber with a placid smile tugging at her lips. Yes, Danzo is and Harabelle is acting weird. I mean, seriously, if you're a hollow and then you suddenly become a hollow, will you not freaked out? Harabelle has a unique way of expressing her days. She is just confused. And that is what I like about her. Clueless but still trying to retain her coolness. And yes, Danzo is Finally, another chapter done. A foot of solitude stepped lightly onto the stark white sands of the desert. Dios del Apocalipsis, your fame exaggerates all the way here. I will see with my eyes just how strong you are. Nothing escapes my eyes, and nothing will. The mysterious entity disappeared into a resonance blur, leaving a trail of stirring dusts. Harabelle sat up from her bed and blinked repetitiously. She wasn't living in fantasy, but reality. However, something caught her peripheral vision. A brown teddy bear the size of her torso was sitting idly beside her pillow. Harabelle reached out for the furry plush toy and stroked the fur of the teddy bear before hugging it closely to her chest. Slipping into a pair of bunny slippers, the female blonde ambled towards the exit of the room. As she was about to reach the doorsteps, the metallic door slid upwards, startling Harabelle in the process. The female blonde stared at the gap where the door was and took a step back. The metallic door automatically shut downwards. Harabelle blinked before taking another curious step forward and the door rose. The bewildered blonde walked forward and the door shut behind her. Harabelle shrugged nonchalantly and ventured through the hallways and climbed the artistic spiral staircase. When she reached ground level, she was surprised at the modernistic interior design of the manor. At that exact moment, Naruto walked into the spacious living room with a cup of coffee in his hand and saw a naked Harabelle clutching a teddy bear into her chest. Harry-chan. Why you're not wearing? Harabel arched a confused brow. I'm not wearing clothes. The blonde twirled around, his face flushed a deep red. I'll call Anko to bring you to get some clothes. Just stay there. Clothes? Harabel blinked in perplexity, as she watched Naruto vanish into a current of air stream. And what is Anko doing here? Waiting patiently, the female blonde was surprised to see Anko strolling towards her with a sheepish grin adorning her features. I wouldn't have guessed underneath that serpentine body of yours lays something like this. I am impressed. Heh. Enough with the reminiscence, we'll talk in the wardrobe chamber. Naruto-kun is pretty shy around hot girls like us, especially when we're naked. Anko led the female blonde towards their allocated destination and giggled. You do know that the bear you're holding onto belongs to Naruto-kun? I guess he gives his favorite teddy bear to you as a get-well charm. Really? This bear belongs to him. Harabel held on to the furry plush toy tightly and blushed unwittingly. Why would he do that? Well, I guess he cares about us. He might be very powerful, but he's still a little boy. He's powerful? Harabel rested her chin atop the teddy bear's head. Yeah, he'll explain it to you. Ah. We're here. The door slid sideways upon the women's arrival and Anko casually flicked the lights on before bellowing merrily. This room is filled with all sorts of fancy clothing. Pick anything you like. Naruto-kun doesn't care much. You can say that this room belonged to us. And look at that disco ball at the ceiling? Yeah, that. I put it up there to enrich the effect. Cool, huh? Interesting. The female blonde placed her furry plush toy on a nearby chair and explored the wide range of velvet silks and fabric. So how long have you been staying here? The former serpent shrugged. A couple of days. Are you going to return to Maisama? Anko sighed. Maisama takes care of me, I know that. But my objective no longer ties with the sisterhood anymore. I'm gonna stay here with Naruto-kun. Besides, we're Arrancar. It is an irreversible process. In exchange for more power, we regain our humanity and cast out our hollow's nature. The price to pay is the incessant guilt that will consume us eventually. Well, that's what Naruto-kun told me. More power? Harabel picked out a dress unknowingly and studied the clothing. I assume that Arrancar are hollows that remove their masks, right? Correct. Naruto-kun says that if hollows remove their masks themselves, there will be segments of our former masks on our face. However, because the transformation is executed by Naruto-kun's technologies, we are able to become a perfect Arrancar. Those hollows who have segments of their masks on their face mean that some of their cannibalistic instincts are still stored within them. And there are limits for such imperfect hollows. Naruto-kun did tell me more about it, but I don't understand most of what he was saying. Anko laughed meekly as she scratched her violet hair. Sacrifices are inadvertent. In the hell we refer as our world, we taint our souls with the sins of many. To be honored with the unworthy salvation that we are graced upon, I have not seen the world's end yet. Harabel sighed. The gift of the goddess is the soul of a heart, the compassion that this hell yields. We stray so far, and we sink so low. We fight to survive, and there are some who fight to cope with their thirst. To shine me with the holy light of love and open my eyes to the truth of the rarest gift, my loyalty shall forever lie with he who shows me his heart. Anko quirked her uneasy smile. Okay. I'm just gonna leave you here to finish whatever you're doing now. Naruto-kun is preparing lunch. Just tell Cortana what you want, and she will handle the rest. The female blonde was perturbed when the purple-haired woman left, leaving her alone in the chamber. Who's Cortana? Yes. Yes. Why, ass? Yes. A humanoid hollow who had wild gray hair, black fur intact on his shoulders with indigo-tinted armor plates embedded on his body and a set of fins on his back. His left arm was attached with the head of a metallic alligator, and within the jaws was adhered with a titanium blade stained with dried blood. His mask, with jagged fangs at the end of the plate, concealed his upper features and only exposed his mouth and chin. Hey bro, you're back. Guess what? I just broke my records of drowning 200 hollows with one tsunami. Awesome, eh? We should seek out Vasto Lord. They will taste better. Another humanoid hollow emerged from the shadows. He had cascading black hair, maroon-plated armors and a mask that resembled a lion. Let us leave. It will be a nuisance if Madara catches up and tried to kill us once again. I swear, even after death, he is still very persistent. Do you think he likes you? The gray-haired hollow laughed. That will make my day. Shut up. The black-haired hollow fumed in annoyance. I love Mito and I will love her even after death. I won't give up finding her in this wasteland. Ah. Such a faithful husband. What will you do if she is a Shinigami? Kidnap her and make her your pet mouse? I will wish her all the best in her new life. The lion-masked hollow sighed. Yeah, just don't go emo on me. Or ya know better than those Uchiha. Always brooding and shit. I am done playing games with them. The next time I see one, I will kill them myself, and then drag their dead body with me to the human world, fry them real nice and eat their remains. That will be exciting. I am not emo and I don't brood. You should adjust your stereotypical viewpoint to an appropriate paradigmatic worldview. The black-haired hollow smirked. That way, you won't look like a ludicrous idiot. I'm not an idiot. I can count up to 20. The silver-haired hollow crossed his arm and huffed. If you can count up to 20, why not 21? Good question. Never asked myself that. A horde of hollows crossed the boundaries, and in the process, alerting the two hollows. One of the hollows sneered. Hey guys! Look what I found. The great horsemen of apocalypse. Conquest and death, the twin brothers who fight together. How adorable! Let's kill those two bastards. Conquest and death smirked. Looks like we ain't looking for no Vasto Lord now. We got dinner served for us already. Then what are we waiting for, brother? The army of rogues roared before charging towards their funeral. Harabelle was dressed in a white tank top, her black brow was translucent through the thin fabric, and a pair of blue shorts. The combination of her preference in clothing, though emanated a sense of leisure, it somewhat embellished her natural beauty. She was still clutching onto her teddy bear while strolling through the somber passages to her designated place. This place is full of surprises. I didn't know computers can convey their messages as if it has a mind of its own. When the female blonde reached into the entrance of the dining room, she was dumbstruck by the antiquated decorations within the room, which somehow ostracized the futuristic design for the rest of the mansion. The table emitted an aura of the ancient period, as well as the Gothic thrones that replaced the dining chairs. Situated on the wooden dining table was a feast, consisting of roast poultries, fresh salads, a few plates of omelets, and several dishes of various desserts. Welcome, Harry-chan. This is a celebration for our newest member in the family. Naruto raised a glass of white wine and cheered. For freedom! For freedom! Anko yelled. Harabelle blinked. Newest member? Family? Freedom? Yeah. You're a part of the family, or you wish to leave. I have no obligation forcing you to stay here if you don't wish to stay. The blonde sulked as he fidgeted with his fingers. I decided to stay here. The accommodation is truly pleasant to say the least. Harabelle smiled, in which Naruto flashed a toothy smirk. Okay. Now eat up. I cooked all these for you. Since I don't know what your preference in the culinary field is, so I just cook my regular lunch menu. You can call these an impromptu lunch, slightly tardy, but still acceptable. Naruto laughed nervously. Harabelle scanned her vicinity before taking a sit on the nearby chair. So, I would like to know more about you. Oh yes. Where are my manners? I haven't introduced myself to you. I am Naruto Uzumaki, the head of this household. This entire house is yours, as long as you obey the 3 rules. Very simple rules. Naruto wiped his mouth gracefully with a napkin and smiled. 1. No destruction within the house. 2. Respect and appreciation, and that mean no unnecessary instigation and castigation. 3. No releasing their Zanpakuto unless desperate situation arises. Zanpakuto? Anko interjected. Did you see any weapon lying beside you when you woke up just now? Yes, a broadsword. Why? The former serpent chortled as she enunciated. That's your Zanpakuto. It contains a part of you. It is a receptacle of your powers. Unlike Shinigami, once we released our Zanpakuto, we might return back to our old self with additional strengths. Naruto-kun will show us those extraordinary powers soon. When? Harabelle and Anko's eyes darted towards the blonde. Soon. You two need to rest first. Besides, it takes a while for your newfound powers to be accessible. Naruto took a sip from his wine and grinned. Now about me. I have already told Anko-chan about my past. I have said it, and I will say it again. I am willing to share my sanctuary with you, but you must be prepared. My moniker was once Dios del Apocalipsis. It took Harabelle a few minutes to digest the information, and when she dropped the spoon, it was the indication of her petrifaction. Why, you the legendary harbinger of death, that's you? Yeah, I know. Looks can be deceiving. Naruto chuckled hollowly. He is subdued, but he will try to overwhelm me with his erroneous conscience. I simply term my condition as a degradation that I must overcome, and this vaticinal of my irrevocable fate of decadence is truly distressing. I cannot guarantee your safety, but Anko-chan still insists of staying. I just want to utilize my powers to contribute to the society. Alright. Let's stop this angst. It's making me all sad and stuff. Let's not waste any food and eat. Anko grabbed her fork and stabbed the roast turkey. The ambience of the room was sorrowfully melancholy, and Naruto was distraught by Harabelle's silence. The female blonde exhaled a heavy breath and softened her gazes at her fellow blonde. You have given me a new and better life. My soul was once corrupted by vengeance, as I endured torment through my journey, committing sacrifices to find my own salvation. Then you came and freed me from the eternal cycle of carnage. I belong to you now. Naruto blushed miserably at the female blonde's tone laced with cryptic hint of lust and mischief. There is no need to say that. I am just relieved that you're okay now. Observing the interaction between the two blondes, Anko felt a pang of jealous stirring in her heart. Harabelle picked up the 2 sticks on the table, assuming they were utensils, and poked the chicken with a clueless visage. Naruto chuckled. What are you doing? Aren't these sticks used for poking? They are chopsticks, Harry-chan. You don't really poke things with them, you use them as a tool to eat. Here, I'll exemplify it for you. Naruto ambled towards the female blonde's sit, and gently grabbed her hand before illustrating the methods to her. After a few trials, Harabelle was able to use it, albeit slightly clumsy. There you go! More practice makes progression. The blonde returned back to his throne and smiled at the flustered female blonde. Obviously he was naive to the feelings of the opposite sex. However, Anko was fuming inwardly with anger, unconsciously stabbing her turkey with vehement vigor. Noticing Anko's umbrage, Naruto asked in concern, Anko-chan, is there something wrong? Huh? Oh. And no, nothing's wrong. I just have this sudden craving for shark fin soup. Ambrosia. Harabelle blinked and immediately deciphered Anko's threat. Naruto-sama, do you happen to make any handbags? I have specific taste for the texture of the bag and I will greatly prefer snakeskin bags. Anko grinded her teeth in pure rage before slamming her fist onto the table. You have a problem with me? Yes, I do. Harabelle retorted monotonously. Hey! Cut it out already. What did I say about the rules in the house? Respect and appreciation. We are no longer mindless beasts wandering in the desert anymore. Hollows might be part of our ancestry, but no mindless beasts are my brethrens. If we want to resolve conflicts, we do it by the diplomatic ways. Violence never solves anything, Naruto stated solemnly before raising the peace sign. Besides, I don't have any shark fins and I don't use snakeskin to make accessories. That's animal cruelty. But killing chickens and turkeys are part of animal cruelties too. Oh well, humans' interpretation of their controversial issues, no matter political or social, always share relation with hypocrisy. Harabelle and Anko folded their arms and huffed. Come on, girls. How about this, after lunch, I'll show you your new powers. And if we got time, I'll bring the 2 of you to the world of the living. It will be fun. Last I heard, a guy called Humphrey just discovered the existence of potassium. And then I can give you a grand tour in the mansion. The 2 women were still unhappy. Damn it. I wish Cammy's brother blesses me with knowledge of how the women's minds work. Wait. Why are they angry for starters? Naruto stroked his chin in deep contemplation before beaming in delight. Who here likes music? Harabelle and Anko eyed Naruto quizzically. Music? I can play over 5 different musical instruments. The piano is one of my favorites. If it could calm you down, I can play it for you. After all, music gives colors to life, doesn't it? Anko blushed. And Naruto-kun is willing to play the thingy for me? Harabelle had a similar reaction as the former serpent, but she was confused nevertheless as an inner turmoil swelled within her heart. Naruto-sama is offering to showcase his talents for me? Why? Why does it for someone as lowly as me do I deserve Naruto-sama's compassion? If he is willing to show me such kindness, then I will sacrifice everything to protect him. I'll take your silences as a yes. Then it's set. Once we finish lunch, I'll show you my Naruto didn't finish his statement as a tremendous force slammed upon him, along with the 2 women. Oh what? What's going on? Cortana! What's wrong? Master, there is a single hollow standing outside the gate of the manor. It is advisable to lure the assailant away before your forthcoming battle destroys the manor. The computer spoke through from the speakers located at the corners of the ceiling within the chamber. Naruto pondered momentarily before standing up and tidied his white blazer. I guess the piano session has to be put on hold. I'll be back. Stay in the castle. I don't want the 2 of you to get hurt. Be safe, Naruto-sama. Harabelle said, which caused Naruto to smile tenderly. I will, Harry-chan. Thank you. Don't get killed or something. Just come back to me. Anko averted her eyes uneasily. However, Naruto wasn't aware of the context of the statement, and simply chuckled benevolently. I will, Anko-chan. Within split seconds, the head of the household vanished into a sonic blur. Naruto materialized his frame before the intruder of his castle and frowned. Seriously, what's with the occasion lately? People are coming to my house for no apparent reason nowadays. So, how may I help you, Ulquiorra cipher? I am here to test my capacity. The humanoid hollow bore a set of white horns at the side of his forehead, a pair of demonic bat wings adorned on his back, protruding black fur at various portions of his body, a prehensile tail and a significant aura of indifference. You must be Dios del Apocalipsis, the once monarch of Hueco Mundo. It might be an overstatement though. You emit no sense of danger whatsoever. Please, I do not wish to partake in any battles. I abhor violence. Naruto smiled. So, please leave me and my family alone. Family? You leak the scent of a hollow, yet you don't look like one. Why? I'm an Arrancar, a new breed of hollows. Judging from your strength, you must be a newborn Vasta Lord. Very young indeed. No matter, my goal is to eradicate your existence, and claim your essence of infinite strength as my prize. Ulquiorra spread his wings and darted towards Naruto. Don't say I didn't warn you. The blonde sighed before his cerulean eyes glowed an effulgent crimson, and parallel beams of intensified heat discharged from his eyes. Zero. Ulquiorra shifted his trajectory and flew up to the night sky. I didn't know he can shoot Zero from his eyes. Ametralladora Zero. A barrage of binding red beams shot from Naruto's palm ruthlessly at the flying Ulquiorra, who was avoiding the incoming projectiles. The bat hollow retreated and spun around abruptly before pointing a digit at his opponent. Tendrils of malevolent energy permeated into the dark orb before Ulquiorra released his variation of assault. Don't underestimate me. Zero. Analyzing the deadly force of the humanoid hollow's onslaught, Naruto thrust a palm forward as a globe of corrupted energy, accompanied by 6 hovering spheres of radiance encircling the epicenter, manifested into existence and grew exponentially. Eventually, the 6 spheres halted their orbits and merged with the center globe. Naruto's eyes shimmered in the flash of wicked green as he announced calmly, Siete Estrellas Zero. The ray of absolute pandemonium shined a jade green color before unleashing chaos at Ulquiorra and collided against the hollow's Zero. Naruto's attack easily overwhelmed the opposing force and resulted in a deafening explosion which reverberated through the entire desert. The impact threw Ulquiorra off his bearing as he soared away from the combat zone. I have severely underestimated this hollow. He intends to lure me away from his home while maintaining a divergence. I am starting to understand why they named him the Dios del Apocalipsis. Ulquiorra had a sudden premonition of danger, and reeled his momentum to its original state, but was startled when he heard the sharp sound of static. Ley inversa. An ungodly force slammed brutally at his back, sending Ulquiorra crashing at the dunes of the wasteland. The hollow groaned at the affliction inflicted by the blonde. His senses told him to stand up promptly, and his impetus commanded him to move, but his body was limp. Opening a weak eye, Ulquiorra saw the silhouette of the authoritarian frame of Naruto. The proper term for your current condition is humiliation. However, I do not intend to give it to you. I am defeated, bested by a greater being than I am. My journey is over. Spare me the sympathy and destroy me. If you do not end me, then this fight will remain forever unsettled. Death blow is out of character for me. I don't deliver them. Ending life is a tragedy. Naruto stared blankly at Ulquiorra with an impassive demeanor. There are many things out there you can accomplish. Still, your philosophy of defeat is ridiculous to me. Rather unnerving if you asked me. How? Your journey has an end. No. Not yet. Like me, you can utilize your powers to contribute to the society. The blonde squatted beside the fallen form of Ulquiorra and smirked. I have a proposal for you, Ulquiorra. You wish to hand your fate to me. I intend to shape the fate you have given to me. To do that, I need your support. What is it? I am willing to give you more power. I am willing to return your humanity to you. I am willing to provide you a sanctuary. I understand that such miracles are absurd in the eyes of those who haven't seen one. There are conditions. Naruto's grin widened. You have to follow my teaching to the letter. I am inclining to the path of a pacifist, and so are the members of my race. I am an Arrancar. Basically, I differentiate between my ancestors and my race by the regards of the importance based on sentimental values that each group upholds. You have to follow it. To serve you? Ulquiorra answered. In a way, yes. So I need a promise. Are you willing to do that to regain your pride? Ulquiorra contemplated. There was nothing he could do. Perhaps, a new life might give him the opportunity to construct his own knowledge of the diverse concepts concerning the meaning of his life. Very well. I accept. Good. Have you seen that? Naruto-kun just kicks his ass like it is child play or something. Anko smirked as she glanced through the window. Harabelle snuggled her teddy bear and sighed. That gravity force. It's unusual. I am sure Naruto-sama didn't expel a pressurized force from his hand. No, I have a feeling that Naruto-sama is manipulating Hueco Mundo's own gravity field into his bidding. Really? I just know that I do not intend to be hit by that expulsion. Did you see how that dude was defeated by one hit? It's like an instant KO, and that emo-looking hollow is definitely strong, no doubt about it. Naruto-sama is beyond his league, beyond our league. Anko initially thought that the female blonde was talking to her, but was stunned to realize that Harabelle was actually conveying with the furry toy. I will take my leave. The violet-haired woman gaped at Harabelle's distancing form. The hell is with her? A few days later, Okiwara was awakened from his slumber. It felt like an eternity had just drifted past in a second. A century worth of undesirable memories was like yesterday, and now he gained a body of a human. Okiwara felt an overflowing maelstrom of untamed power circulating within his body, ready to be exploded. In retrospect, Okiwara was obligated to serve Naruto as he was forever indebted to his master. Removing the sheets, Okiwara climbed out of the bed, trying to adjust his new sets of bearings. Flexing his toes and fingers, the pale Arrancar scanned the room and saw clothes hanging on the hanger. Instinctively, Okiwara walked towards his objective and studied the different layers of fabrics in plain curiosity. He was not sagacious at humans' values and modesty, but somehow he felt the urge to cover his body. Okiwara was dressing himself with the blue tights, but paused in his actions. He hoisted a strange, red cloth with awkward cuttings. It had 3 holes and bore the shape of a triangular panel. What is this? This thing reminds me of the anatomical shape of a human's pelvis. The pale Arrancar sighed and slipped it on before situating a red hat on his head and left. And then I was like, come and get this sweet ass of mine. And he was like, I'll beat your ass. We fight and I pounce on his ass real good. Anko was invigorated as she told her tales of her adventure as a ninja when she was alive. Naruto was listening in rapt attention, while Harabelle yawned insouciantly. After I returned back to my village, I saw this perverted asshole called Kakakakakshit something. And I steal his porn and run off. What did he do? Please. Save me the suspense. It's killing me. Anko giggled at Naruto's antics. He chases after me with a squad of ANBU. Then I stopped running and took out a lighter. I was like, come at me and I burn your favorite shit. And he was like, no, my precious, no. Of course, I burn it, and he cries and shit himself. The blonde laughed, along with Anko. Harabelle was hugging her teddy bear while glaring daggers at the purple-haired Arrancar. Until Okiwara appeared, the 3 Arrancars turned their attentions at the newest member of the family. Upon seeing Okiwara's outfit, Anko fell onto the floor while laughing hysterically. Naruto choked. Harabelle sniffed her teddy bear, unconcerned by the occurrence. Okiwara was taken aback by the reactions. What's wrong? The blonde yelled. What the hell is wrong with your getup? I thought I gave you my black t-shirts and jackets. What the hell are you wearing? Besides, you don't wear your underwear outside your pants, you wear it inside your pants. And why are you wearing the Christmas hat? It's not December yet. The pale Arrancar arched a brow. Huh? Naruto deadpanned and shifted his sights at Anko, who was still guffawing in a lunatic frenzy. Anko-chan. How many times did I tell you not to do that? I can't help myself. The former serpent saw Okiwara's bizarre costume and laughed again while clutching her stomach. Too funny. Can't stop laughing. Stomach hurts. The blonde grabbed the perplexed Okiwara and apologized. I'm sorry about her. Let's go to the wardrobe chamber. A few minutes later, Okiwara returned with proper attire and a stoic attitude. He was dressed in a white jacket, in which underneath was a black shirt adorned with green stripes, and he wore a pair of navy blue jeans along with a pair of white blucher shoes. Naruto chuckled at the escapade previously and settled down on the couch. Please, this is your home now. Feel free to use any electrical appliances here. Just don't destroy them. Anko-chan accidentally spoilt my air conditioner yesterday. Hey, the machine is releasing heat instead of cold air. Anko protested. Harabelle rolled her eyes, her teddy bear resting idly on her lap. You switched on the heater, that's why. It's not my fault. Anko blushed in embarrassment. The remote control hates me, Naruto sighed. So, wanna tell us more about you? Your past life? Your hobbies, likes, dislike, wish? Okuiora simply replied expressionlessly. I was a detective. I died when I was investigating a cold case that involved a serial killer. I had a hunch when I knew who the murderer was, and so I purposely allowed him to join my team. However, his action led me to doubt my judgment until he killed me. I still remember clearly my last moment when I died knowing that he was the serial killer. Anko patted the pale Arrancar's shoulder in a mien of consolation. I'm sorry, don't be. I killed him after he died. Naruto, Anko and Haribel stared at Okuiora silently. Okuiora blinked. Did I say something? No, nothing, go on. Naruto urged. I do not think I have any hobbies. Perhaps anything that involves with tactics might interest me. Shogi and chess might be something I would do in my leisure time. As for my likes, it depends on the context of the miscellaneous question. I do believe I like the taste of sweet. As for my dislikes, since Naruto-sama is a pacifist, I am logically a person who will detest violence. I wish to serve Naruto-sama to the best of my ability. The blonde chuckled. You might serve me, but that doesn't mean I'm robbing off your freedom or something. And don't be restricted to say what you wish to say in front of me due to formality. We are a family now. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Naruto Uzumaki. I don't know how old I am. Lost counts of it. My hobbies are discovering the mysteries of science, knitting, cooking and reading. I like ramen and my new family. I dislike violence, and hate the very core of immorality. My wish is to protect my family. Anko waved her hand fanatically. My turn. I'm Anko Mitarashi. I like dango and all sorts of food Naruto-kun cooks. They are delicious. You should try it sometime. My hobbies are playing pranks on everybody. I hate Orochimaru. My wish is to kill him and be here for Naruto-kun when he needs me. I'm Tia Haribel. I like fish cakes, the sea, reading and my teddy bear. I dislike anybody who wishes to harm Naruto-sama. My wish is private matter. Haribel unconsciously snuck a glance at her fellow blonde and blushed. To say that Naruto was jubilant was an understatement. He was joyous that he finally had a family that he could call his own. He loved how Anko was always enthusiastic about technologies and carried a hilarious sense of humor. He was truly bemused by Haribel's fondness for the teddy bear he gave it to her. She was never seen without carrying the stuffed toy. She even named the bear Naruki. Unfortunately, the blonde was incognizant of Haribel's attraction to him. Okuiora was adjusting to a new habitual lifestyle. After all, an incessant struggle for dominance and survival would, without a doubt, drove any men insane. A hollow had no conscience to begin with. They were monsters built for senseless mass extermination. Naruto envisioned and aspired for Arrancars to be recognized as harmonious creatures, capable of distinguishing the difference between barbarity and morality. Naruto twisted the tap and washed his hands. Finishing his bedtime routine, the blonde looked at the mirror and widened his eyes in sheer trepidation. His mirror image wasn't reflecting his supposedly looks. It was reflecting a person who had the same features as he had, but a different, inauspicious aura. Hey, partner. Hasn't it been a while since we last chat? Naruto growled. What do you want, Kyubi? The blonde spat venomously, but Kyubi was unfazed. Unlike Naruto, Kyubi had a golden mane that had a few streaks of stylish crimson on his hair and sinister black sclera. To Naruto, the terrorizing portion of Kyubi's features was his ominous slitted crimson pupils. Oh, you know what I want, Naruto. Are you that dumb? You know I won't return my body to you. What do you want? Kyubi grinned lecherously. It is true that I can't control your body, but that doesn't mean I can't control certain parts of your body. You know what you want, I know what you want. And you know the two of them want what you want as well. Why not fulfill their wet dreams and fuck them now? I am not you. Anko-chan and Harry-chan are sisters to me. Really? How about we put that theory to the test? If they are sisters to you, then naturally you wouldn't lust for them. Let's see, what happens if I increase your testosterone levels to the maximum? What happen if I increase certain secretion of your hormones? Hell, I should just shut down that code of honor that you uphold so dearly and flood you with naked illustrations of your precious Anko-chan and Harry-chan screaming for you. How about that? If you could do that, you would do it long time ago. But long time ago, those two fuck toys don't stay under your roof. Kyubi countered, and his smirk widened as he saw fear and disgust plastered on Naruto's features. Shut up. Alright, let's switch topic. How about your Harry-chan sleeping in the next room? You do know that she likes you, right? Fuck it, I bet she will give you a blowjob if you ask for it. Come on. Go for it. You don't think I can't smell her lust for you? She wants you to fuck her. Oh yes, She is naughty, and she needs a good spanking. Go get her, boy. I will always support. Stop degrading them. They are not like you. They never will. Naruto punched the mirror in rage. However, the cracked mirror still reflected Kyuubi's disturbing grin. The blonde scorned Kyuubi in disdain. The demonic entity served the purpose of mocking him, and no matter what he did, he would never get rid of his curse. Listen to me, you twisted son of a... Oh? Naruto is a bad boy. Swearing? Gosh. What a bad boy you are. Maybe you should ask Enko-chan and Harry-chan to give you a spanking. Shut up. You are not me and you will never have my body. I will never let you resurface to existence, and I'll be damned if I let you touch them. Kyuubi studied his nails and yawned. Empty threats. Truth is, you know you can't do anything to stop your fate. I am like a charging battery. You might have this body of yours, but one day I will return. And when I return, I will reclaim my empire. Of course, every emperor needs a queen and concubines for him to fuck, right? I take your Enko-chan and Harry-chan as my prize. They will make great stress relievers. Naruto felt revolted by his counterpart's words. I will kill you before you can even do that. Tolerance emptied, Kyuubi roared. It is you who should listen to me, Naruto. I am a death sentence to you. My very existence is a death sentence to you. And you can't kill me. After I conquer Hueco Mundo like I did centuries ago, I will conquer Soul Society, then I will conquer the world of the living, and then I will slaughter the Spirit King and become the god of all worlds. You're delusional. Say what you want, but your subconscious knows I am more than capable of doing that. Good night, Naruto. Oh, send my regards to the girls. Kyuubi cackled tantamount to a heartless devil as he faded. I can't wait to claim them myself. Naruto collapsed onto his bathroom floor, panting tediously as he felt the bombardment of a nausea flooding his mind, and grimaced. You have taken everything from me. My life, my childhood, my past. I am not going to let you take away my future, Kyuubi. I'm not going to let you hurt my family. Never. I will keep you rotting in my mind. The blonde sapphire eyes glowed with determination and absolute resolution. Stay where you belong in my memories. Mei Terumi, one of the notorious horsemen, was seating on her throne, glancing insouciantly at the everlasting moon. Amongst the hollow populace, there would inevitably have individuals that wished to collaborate with others to hunt effectively. Gradually, as the group expanded exponentially, it became a horde and eventually grew to become an army. Mei had one of the largest army in the history of Hueco Mundo. Danzo was the detestable rival. An armored centaur galloped towards her queen and bowed. Masama, Harabel and Enko are officially declared as missing. Our teams are unable to find them. We think they might. And my girls? No. Harabel and Enko are still out there. We just need to find them. They are our sisters. Mei bellowed. Damn it, I know Danzo must have something to do with their disappearance. That sexist bastard is always denouncing women's pride. One of these days, I'm going to crush that chauvinist skull of his. What should we do, Mei-sama? Nilio queried. Harabel rarely kills and Enko might. The horsewoman of Apocalypse tapped her fingers at the armrest of her throne and sighed. Samui, Shizen. As if on cue, a white tigress, adorned with black tribal stripes at her torso and golden armor attached on her shoulders, accompanied by an exquisite but gigantic white dove, manifested in sonic blurs before their leader. How can we serve you, Mei-sama? Samui, Shizen, track Harabel and Enko down. If they are injured, Shizen can help them and Samui can provide backup. We will see to it. When Samui and Shizen left for their appointed duty, Mei made a hand gesture, and Neely bowed. Follow them, but don't let them know you're there. You are to provide reinforcement for them, in case exigent circumstances arise. Understood, Mei-sama? The female centaur galloped away. Danzo Shimura, an infamous vasto lord and a strategic conqueror, sat on his throne while he schemed for his next attempt on recruiting powerful hollows. If he wanted to attain the throne of godhood and gain absolute recognition, he would have to defeat the omnipotent devil of the desert, the god of Apocalypse. His records and intelligence had gathered perturbing results. Dios del Apocalipsis had obtained an unparalleled record of being undefeated since his birth in Hueco Mundo. That was a pretty confounding feat, and though Danzo would never admit it, he was afraid to challenge the nefarious god. Surprisingly, his men had provided an intriguing report to him about the enigmatic blonde's recent deed. According to his men, Naruto had a few people living with him. Enko Mitarashi and Tia Harabel, who were former members of the Sisterhood, had pledged their loyalty to the god of Apocalypse. Danzo concluded that they were most likely sex slaves to Naruto. However, Ulquiorra Cypher, a superior hollow and also a newborn vassal lord who had notoriety in the West, had allied himself with Naruto. Danzo knew that Dios del Apocalipsis was possibly forging a horde of invincible army. Danzo would never let that happen. He needed a spy, someone capable enough to infiltrate Naruto's sanctuary, and gained his trust. After having a mental debate, Danzo signaled his subordinate, Itachi Uchiha, a humanoid hollow who had a pair of dark feathered wings, a mask that resembled a sinister vulture, a slim physique and a pair of crimson eyes, appeared before his leader and knelt. "What is it that you desire, master?" Itachi felt disgusted saying such lowly words, but he had to endure. After his defeat at Danzo's hand, his enslavement had confined his will by a rigid doctrine. Danzo smirked under his mask and stroked his chin. "I heard recent rumors that Dios del Apocalipsis had given miraculous strength to his servants. I am sending you on to a necessary espionage. I would not tolerate failures. Find out what he is hiding and let me know." The humanoid vulture sighed. "I will not fail you, master." Naruto opened his eyes and expected to see darkness engulfing his room. In contrary, he may be the founder of technologies and possessed ungodly strength. His room was not built of royalty. It was a plain, simple room with paintings hung on the walls, a bathroom with his custom-built jacuzzi, a study desk and its set of leather chair, a king-sized bed with side tables on its corners. He did not expect seeing Anko's sleeping form lying beside him. The quietness granted the blonde the chance to listen to the purple-haired beauty's soothing heartbeat. Naruto felt a pair of slender appendages encircling his waist and twirled his sight to his back. Much to his dismay, Harabelle was nuzzling her cheek affectionately at his back. The awkward position was unnerving as he wasn't used to such closure. Unable to desensitize from his cumbersome situation, Naruto sighed. "How did the two of them manage to sneak into my room? Do they have sleeping disorder? Sleepwalking perhaps?" The blonde had a measurable amount of questions in his mind waiting to be resolved. "Naruto-kun, don't stop," Anko muttered in her sleep. The smile of contentment adorning on her features somewhat startled Naruto. "The hell? What is she dreaming? And why is she dreaming about me?" "Naruto-sama, that's the spot, touch please." Harabelle's pleasurable moaning further escalated Naruto's uneasiness. He felt his stomach stirring and a foreign feeling surfacing from his locked emotions. Little did Naruto realize that he was having an arousal. "Okay, this is just creepy. Why are the two of them dreaming about me?" "No, scratch that. What are they dreaming? What should I do now?" Naruto exhaled a tired breath. "It's peaceful now. I guess having them here is not really a bad thing after all. Now that I think about it, the two of them are quite cute actually. And very pretty as well." His musing was disrupted when Anko awoke from her slumber and saw her object of affection before her. "And Naruto-kun? Why are you in my bed?" Naruto deadpanned. "This is my bed." "Oh." Anko grinned. "Why am I in your bed, Naruto-kun? Are you planning to do something naughty with me? Are you intending to ravish me?" "No. I will never." Naruto flushed a few shades of red. It was, in Anko's point of view, fun to watch the blonde flustered by mere words, albeit seduction was required. The purple-haired woman giggled at Naruto's agitated reaction and sat up. The blonde was stunned in sheer petrifaction when he noticed Anko was practically naked and he was caught in the conundrum of admiring the outline of the woman's angelic body. Naruto quickly looked away. "Anko-chan, you're not wearing clothes. I'm too sexy for my shirt." Anko smirked lewdly and fondled her soft breasts. Her eyes glinted with concupiscent desires. "You want to touch these babies? You know." "Please, Anko-chan, just..." Naruto's stammer had unwittingly disturbed Harabelle's dream. The female blonde sat up and rubbed her eyes groggily. "Naruto-sama? Why are you sleeping in my bed?" "This is my bed." The blonde then noticed Harabelle was wearing an oversized, sleeveless white jersey, and the translucent fabric allowed Naruto to see vague images of the female blonde's ample bosoms. Harry-chan. What are you even wearing?" Harabelle tilted her head sideways in confusion. "This is my pajamas? It is very comfy." Did you wear any underwear then?" The female blonde shook her head. "Should I?" Naruto buried his face in the pillow. "Oh God! What should I do? Why are they in my room anyway? Damn it, no! Naruto is a good boy. I am a good boy. No dirty images. No, I do not want to make love with N.O. Stop it! Naruto is a good boy. Naruto is not a bad boy. Peeping makes Naruto a bad boy. Gee, good boy. I am." Anko giggled subtly. "Harabelle, I think Naruto-kun got an erection." "Oh my." Harabelle blushed and embraced her fellow blonde's back before whispering sultrily into Naruto's ears. Do you want us to comfort you, Naruto-sama? Fortunately or unfortunately, Ulquiorra's blaring voice was heard from the kitchen. Breakfast is ready. Naruto took the opportunity and perked his head up in excitement. Oh! Ulquiorra is making breakfast! Gotta go take a shower first. The blonde darted towards his bathroom and slammed the door shut. Anko pouted dejectedly. Ah, damn Ulquiorra. I thought we could get some action with Naruto-kun. He's so uptight all the time. I for once agree with you. Harabelle and Anko blinked and stared at each other momentarily before they asked the same question in unison. What are you doing in Naruto-kun/Sama's bedroom? Breakfast was intriguing to Naruto, to say the least. Anko was grinning provocatively at him. Harabelle was sniffing her teddy bear while shooting glances at him, and Ulquiorra was staring at him impassively. The blonde took a pancake and cut it, brought it to his mouth with his fork and swallowing his food. The melancholy silence flooding the room was aggravating Naruto to the extremity where he placed his cutleries neatly onto the table and sighed. Why are you guys looking at me for? Anko giggled. Nothing. I'm just wondering whether you have forgotten what we did in your bed this morning. Ulquiorra cocked a brow and stopped eating. What have you done, Naruto-sama? And nothing. Harabelle averted her eyes away. Her tone sounded sorrowfully broken but still carried her distinctive monotone. Are you denying your responsibility? You slept with me and Anko. That is something you cannot deny. Ulquiorra stared at the blonde curiously. Is that true, Naruto-sama? Naruto panicked. And no. It's not what you think. It is true that I slept with Anko-chan and Harry-chan, but I understand, Naruto-sama, you do not need to be dismissive of such issues. The pale Arrancar reasoned. It is comprehensible that you have needs that required fulfillment. No! You got it all wrong? What's wrong? Anko pouted. Are you ashamed to be sleeping with me and Harabelle? Perceiving the visage of despair adorning on Anko and Harabelle's features, Naruto softened his eyes. He did technically sleep with them. No, you two are gorgeous, and I will never be ashamed of no. I mean explanation is not needed. Ulquiorra concluded, chewing his thumb contemplatively while staring at his teacup. I understand. No! You don't understand. As a matter of fact, I do. Naruto pouted when Anko chortled merrily and Harabelle giggled with amusement. Alright, we'll stop teasing Naruto-kun. He's helpless in the might of hot women like us. How shameless. Ulquiorra took a casual sip from his tea. You say something, Quiorra-baka? I said your bickering is annoying. Ulquiorra and Anko had a strange relationship akin to rivalry siblings. Although they had mutual respect with each other and understood one another to a certain degree, they had constant pointless quarrels most of the time. Eventually, it became one of Ulquiorra's unhealthy hobbies to antagonize Anko verbally and watch the purple-haired woman retaliating with utter umbrage. You're going down. If Naruto hadn't stopped Anko, she would have lunged towards the tranquilized, but bemused Ulquiorra. Calm down, Anko-chan. Ulquiorra is just joking around. Come on. After breakfast, we can go training together. Anko yelped cheerfully and seized a few skewers of dango before chewing her favorite food. Ulquiorra never forgot to make dango, and Anko somewhat loved his cooking, though she would never admit it. An hour later, since my training ground is destroyed, we have to train in the desert. No thanks to you, by the way. Naruto's eyebrow twitched as he eyed a sheepish Anko. Don't blame me. Quiorra-baka was the one who pissed me off. In my defense, I only said Naruto-sama would like contemplative women more so than loud women. You are the one who interpreted my statement wrongfully and triggered your resurrection, which you still have no control whatsoever due to your overly abundant strength, Ulquiorra stated monotonously. Anko quirked her trademark smirk and draped a hand over her surrogate brother's shoulder. Oh? Are you complimenting me? Yes, I am complimenting your flaws, if that is how you see it. Killed you. Anko chirped. So, what are we practicing today, Bala? Naruto's expression was swiftly adjusted to a serious facade. Unlike Zero, in which he charged up the potent blast and expelled the condensed spirit energy, Bala is simply expelling spirit energy without charging. In short, it lacks strength but it's gifted with speed. It depends on your proficiency in molding spirit energy. If you are a natural in the academics of manipulating Zero, or to be in depth, refining controls and molding spirit energy, Bala is no problem at all. Watch. Naruto's hand shot out in a blur and volleys of vibrant spheres of energy were discharged from the blonde's fist, detonating a series of explosions across the desert. Anko whistled in awe at the might of such technique. Harabelle hugged her teddy bear as she watched the performance, and Ulquiorra's expression was unreadable as usual. That, my friends, is the strength of Bala. It is weaker than Ciro, no doubt, but if you know how to use it, you can dominate any opponents in the battlefield. Still, I prefer Ciro. Awesome! I'm gonna give it a try. Instantly, Anko flared a barrage of speeding crimson flames, obliterating the forefront of her scenario, resulting in geyser of sands bursting from the ground. It's so cool. I never feel so powerful before. And my release form is more kick-ass than I thought. An inscrutable expression plastered at Ulquiorra's face before he released a series of Bala. The outcome was catastrophic. Indeed, it feels as if one is in complete control. This sudden surge of power is truly magnificent. Exactly, once you become an Arrancar, your power will increase dramatically. Naruto flashed a jovial smile. Naruto-sama, you didn't tell us what rank you are as a former Vasta Lord. Harabelle's emerald eyes had been targeting a certain blonde for a while. Is it possible for you to disclose to us that information? We all wish to know how strong you are. Naruto became silent as he seemed to be engrossed at the sands beneath his feet. Anko and Ulquiorra were eager to know as well. They had anticipated that Naruto might likely be standing at the highest echelon of the Hollow's hierarchy, possible a noble rank. The violet-haired woman tapped her foot impatiently as she placed a hand at her hip. So? Are you gonna tell us or what? I don't really want to talk about that, but if you wish to know, I am at the rank of the Majesty. Naruto scratched his head in modesty. The blonde's declaration broke Ulquiorra's stoic facade, caused Harabelle to hide her unusual giggle under her teddy bear's back, and made Anko gawked in astonishment. I have fought zillions of battles, I supposed. Nobody has defeated me. Well, there is nothing to boast really. After all, it's my dark side who obtains that title. I have his power, but I just don't wish to use it unnecessarily. Holy shit! Anko yelled. Seriously? I have been teasing a godlike Hollow all this time? And my head is still intact on my shoulder? Heh! All the more reason to like him. He's so shy and powerful at the same time. How rare indeed. Delicious. Unbeknownst to the Arrancars, Harabelle was smiling beatifically under concealment. To think that we have been living with the true god of this world. Naruto-sama isn't cocky. No, Naruto-sama is the complete opposite of such stereotypes. He's cheerful, kind, and an enigma sometimes. So why is my heart pounding so fast? What is this strange feeling? Am I falling in love with him? Is this what it's like to fall in love? Is this how Juliet feels when Romeo? Ulquiorra regained his composure and coughed. It is to be expected. You have not even showed us the extent of your full powers. I am honored serving you. Naruto chuckled nervously. I'm flattered. Still, that doesn't mean anything much. I'm still me, and as long as I live, I will protect the three of you. You guys are my family after all. The three Arrancars couldn't help but smiled. Danzo was not an irascible individual. At least he thought he wasn't. The Vasta Lord stroked the circular steel of a chain deviously, and pulled it aggressively. He was rewarded with a feminine cry of despondency. His perverse soul shivered in sadistic pleasure, as he pulled the chain, and dragged his victim to his knees. Ah, how are you doing, my little lamb? Why, you will pay for this. What will I possibly gain for keeping you alive, I wonder? Ah? You might be a great tool for moral lifting. My troops are down lately. Perhaps you could pleasure them, After all, you were once a very beautiful kunoichi, right? I am surprised things turn out this way. You died and become a Vasta Lord. Still finding those two pathetic idiots. Hanzo is a fool. He should distribute your sensational body to please his subordinates to boost some confidence and respect. Speaking of that, perhaps I should distribute you to my subordinates to gain utmost loyalty. Danzo caressed the Hollow's cheek, but the female Vasta Lord bit his hand. Irritated and furious by the Hollow's action, Danzo slapped her brutally, pummeling her to the middle of the stadium. You ungrateful wench. I shall have my men teach some discipline into you. Men, teach this woman a lesson. Don't show mercy, but don't kill her. She will be the finest specimens of all of my concubine. Ah, be glad, wench, I have mitigated your punishment. Don't you agree with me, Conan? The Hollows surrounding the defenseless woman kicked and abused her while Danzo laughed at the humiliation of his victim. Yahiko Nagato helped me. Conan fainted soon after the ferocious beatings. Samui sniffed that atmosphere and cringed at the repulsive scents. I hate traveling via the Hollows graveyard, Shizen sighed. Nobody liked traveling here except the minor Hollows that live here to defend themselves from other Hollows. Oh well, if we want to find Harabelle and Anko, this route is the safest place. And this place has the highest terrain in Hueco Mundo. You want to find someone, this is the best place. There is this rumor about Psycho Hollow's strain here. The tigress scowled. No doubt, I'm just surprised I'm not mental yet. The dove flapped her wings. The two female hollows felt numerous presences behind them and turned around, only to see a horde of hollows growling at them. Shizen gasped as she was aware of the outnumbering hollows. Damn it, how the hell did they get behind us without letting us know? It doesn't matter. Zero. Samui opened her jaws and shot out a red beam of heat at her opponents. Shizen dived upwards before enlarging her wings. Zero. The giant dove hadn't noticed an entity fell upon her, crushing her to the ground. Shizen yelled in agony before another hollow stepped onto her head mercilessly. Samui growled before pouncing at her assailants, and caught a glimpse of her fallen teammate. Damn it, these guys just won't quit. And Shizen is never a fighter. She's a supporter. We shouldn't have come here. Samui widened her eyes and spun around, only to see a bipedal hammerhead shark delivering a remorseless punch at her face. The tigress hissed in pain. Damn it, if only I'm beyond a Vasto Lord level, I could kill these pigs. The white tigress never believed in miracles, but she was stupefied when she saw a human, appearing out of nowhere, grasping the sharp edge of the hammerhead shark's fin. What truly amazed her was the fact that the human's hand wasn't crushed upon impact. Samui realized the human was a purple-haired woman who wore an unzipped maroon jacket, and underneath it was a black shirt. She also wore a pair of blue jeans with metal accessories attached on her pants. Hey Samui. Didn't expect you to be here. That voice. Samui recognized that voice. Anko? Just a minute. Anko tightened her grasp into a fist, which effectively eradicated the hollow into dust. The purple-haired Arrancar jerked her head to her side and yelled, Hey, Kuyorabaka, get your ass over here. A pale male, dressed in a white buttoned shirt, a green tie hung loosely around his neck and black trousers, manifested beside Anko in a static blur, his hands casually tucked into his pockets. Don't command me around, woman, whatever. Did you rescue Shizen? Patience, woman, patience. Ulquiorra pointed a digit at an inestimable amount of charging hollows, and an effulgent orb of energized powers materialized at his fingertip before it erupted into a green beam of promising mayhem. The Zero hit the front line of the hollows and annihilated the onslaught. Samui gaped and marveled the power of Anko's friend. Who is him, Anko? Why did you associate yourself with him anyway? He's an idiot, apparently? Did you have to go overboard with it? Ulquiorra arched a brow. Overboard? I did not even use 30% of my powers. How could you call that overboard? Samui gritted her fangs. That Zero isn't even at 30% of his powers? What is he? A monster? At that moment, two figures animated beside the pair. Samui surveyed a blonde who wore a black blazer, black shirt and dark jeans, and another female blonde, dressed in a pink spaghetti-strapped shirt and bright blue shorts, hugging a teddy bear. Samui, it has been a while. Harabel? What are you doing here? The tigress drew in her full height and exhaled a tired breath. This is beyond my pay grade. Shizen and I have been looking all over for the two of you, and you are out here playing human? We aren't human, Samui-san, right? The young blonde walked forward and offered a handshake. Samui stared at Naruto quietly and growled. Who are you? I'm Naruto Uzumaki, head of the Uzumaki household. Pleasure to meet you. What have you done with Anko and Harabel? Samui was ready to attack Naruto, but somehow she felt an oppressing subconscious compelling her not to harm the young blonde. Ere I turn them into Arrancars? You bastard! Samui assumed the term, Arrancar, meant the product of an atrocious, horrendous scheme linked by an ulterior motive. Without hesitation, she charging at him. The tigress was shocked when Harabel had slammed her head into the sand with one hand. Calm down, Samui. Naruto-sama only gave us strength. There is nothing evil behind his intention. You should have witnessed Anko and Ulquiorra's superior powers. They are beyond the level of a Vasto Lord. It is unwise for you to attack Naruto-sama in such state. Harabel, why? Why what? Harabel deadpanned. Why are you serving him? Naruto took the chance to interject. Excuse me? Harry-chan? There is no need to concede to violence. Just release Samui-san over here. The female blonde nodded and took a step back. Naruto chuckled sheepishly at Harabel's action and apologized. I'm sorry for Harry-chan's behavior. She's just looking out for me. Now why are you here? I'm here to bring Anko and Harabel back to the sisterhood. There is no need to. Harry-chan and Anko-chan have chosen to stay with me, and as long as they're with me, they're safe. You need not worry for their safety. I did not force them, if that's what you're thinking. My conscience is clean. Naruto smiled warmly at the tigress. Shizen-san is fine. Ulquiorra has brought her back to my manor. Once I nurse her back to health, she is free to go. We don't need your help. Then I'm afraid she will die. Naruto shrugged. But I won't let a life slip away, not under my watch. Shizen-san is a good person. She has a pure soul, even though she is forced to fight here in this wasteland. And you, Samui-san, have a gentle heart as well. I can tell. You don't know anything about me, so stop acting pretentious. It won't work. Samui spat. Naruto tapped his chin. Let me see. You are once a loyal warrior when you're alive, serving faithfully to your master's younger brother. You're also leader of your team, and an exceptionally good one at that. You hate rapists and murderers, but most of all, you hate hypocrites, because they killed your father. You valued your family and friends, even though they annoyed you most of the time. You reprimand your subordinates' stupidity, but you care deeply for their well-being. Your favorite food, let me guess, are coffee-flavored brownie and mango pudding. How the hell did he know anything about my past life? Can he read minds? And how did he know I like coffee-flavored brownie and mango pudding? Samui hesitatingly spoke. And no, as in I hit the jackpot, no? Or no, as in, he finds out about my secrets? Oh, by the way, I can't read minds or memories, if you're wondering. Then how did you do it? Naruto grinned wittily. Acute observation and making perspicacious judgments. If you wish to join me, please come with me. Now, if you excuse me, I have to cure a patient. The mysterious blonde vanished into a current of gentle breeze, leaving 3 females behind. Anko smirked and looked at Harabel. He's good, isn't it? Insightful. Harabel stared at Samui and sighed lightly. Naruto-sama hasn't forced us to do anything. We choose to live with him. What about Mei-sama? Anko intervened. We are grateful for her hospitality, but we are no longer hollows. We have evolved. Samui, if you wish to become stronger, come with us. We stay by Naruto-kun's side willingly. He is a rare kind. And I confess that he is an all-you-can-eat buffet. I know you are loyal to Mei-sama. We all are, but there is no turning back. I am only in a jutsus when I serve Mei-sama. When Naruto found me and gave me my humanity back, I felt stronger. Hell, I'll even find Orochimaru and kill him right now if I want. Like Anko, you are going to become a vassal lord soon, Samui. You have great potential. Think about it. Harabel disappeared into a swirl of sands. I am a vassal lord now. Well, I'm a newborn, but Naruto-kun has given me more power. So, what do you say? Anko's grin widened to an unbelievable degree. You know you want to. Samui didn't know why, but every fiber in her being commanded her to follow Anko, and so she followed. When she opened her eyes, she felt afresh. It was then Samui realized she had no paws. Instead, she had a pair of slender hands. Samui stood up from her bed and felt a foreign weight pressurizing her downwards. The blonde essayed her body and was shocked to see she had retained her voluptuous body. What truly fascinated Samui with piqued interest were her breasts. Her ample assets were nostalgic since her shoulder aching derived from her well-endowed bosoms. She gave her breasts a passionate grope and moaned. Her face was heated with a streak of palpable pink. This feels real. Samui ventured to the bathroom and saw her reflection in the mirror. The former tigress caressed her chin and studied her features, along with the erotic curves that could captivate any men, and some populace of the females. For once in an eternity, Samui smiled in bliss. The blonde noticed the clothes hanging on the rack and grabbed them. You shouldn't go to the graveyard surreptitiously again, woman. Ulquiorra sighed as he stared emotionlessly at the chessboard, waiting patiently for his opponent's next move. You know Naruto-sama detests violence. Stop using big words. Besides, they hurt Samui and Shizen. I need to vent my anger on something. Those hollows deserve it. Anko shifted her queen forward. Nonsense. Anything that tragically angers you deserve it somehow. Ulquiorra ate his blueberry muffin with his typical aloof features and swiftly moved his bishop diagonally forward. As much as I hate to say this, but there are boundaries in life. Naruto-sama is very recessive when it comes down to his feelings for an intimate relationship. That's an example for boundaries. Besides, killing blindly in the graveyard is still count as unnecessary bloodshed, and that's crossing over the boundary. Only in your mind, Quiora-chan, only in your mind. Anko dramatically pointed her head with a mischievous grin on her face. But I am surprised you care about me. I do not care about you. However, it will be rather quiet without you around. The former serpent replaced Ulquiorra's bishop with her knight. Oh, silly Quiora-baka. You know you love me. Come on, we are sister and brother. We shouldn't be hiding secrets. I told you I like Naruto-kun. Correction, I told you I know you have feelings for Naruto-sama without much perceptive skills. You are as readable as an open textbook, Anko pouted. Shut up. Now, tell me what secrets you are hiding from me. Come clean with me. Don't be naughty, I have no secrets to hide from you. Ulquiorra took over Anko's bishop with his pawn. Really? You are as readable as an open textbook, you know? Anko giggled in victory when she spotted Ulquiorra's averting eyes. Fine. I think I have a breakthrough. The pale Arrancar leaned forward and whispered secretively. Anko was eager to hear her surrogate brother's secret in order for her to achieve her wicked conquest of blackmailing Ulquiorra in the imminent future. I found out that my hair is shorter on the side. Ulquiorra sat back on his chair and perched onto his hunchback position, took another bite on his muffin and yawned. By the way, checkmate. Anko fumed in frustration. She was tricked and defeated by Ulquiorra for the umpteenth times. You see this fist over here? I call her mama's mallet. I can punch you till kingdom comes. That's impressive. The pale Arrancar had a sip from his cup of coffee and smiled shrewdly. The most I can do with a punch is to make a hole somewhere in your body. Now, care for another game? It was then Samly descended from the stairs. She was dressed in a glamorous blue dress and the clothing embellished her elegant beauty. Chess? Amusing. Pawn to d4. Ulquiorra blinked as he scrutinized Samly keenly. He bit his thumb and replied with an adequate response. Pawn to g6. Anko looked at Ulquiorra and then switched her glances at Samly. What are you guys doing? Mental chess? Samly smiled. Knight to f3. Bishop to g7. Absently, Ulquiorra dropped a few marshmallows into his coffee. Pawn to g3. Ulquiorra smirked. Pawn to d6. Samly blinked. Bishop to g2. Anko scratched her hair in confusion. How the hell can the two of you play chess without a board? And how can you do it so fast? Ulquiorra ignored his surrogate sister and continued stolidly. Knight to f6. Samly frowned. Castling. Castle. The blonde chuckled. Amusing, you're indeed a formidable tactician. Pawn to c4. You are beyond the scope of a discerning strategist too. I'm impressed. Pawn to c6. Knight to c3. Samly smiled innocently. Knight to d7. Ulquiorra unemotionally took another sip from his coffee, blanched at the bitter taste, and dropped sugar cubes into his beverage. Queen to c2. Interesting, the queen has come to the stage. Pawn to e5. Samly settled herself comfortably on the couch and snatched a brownie. If the leader doesn't move, how can he or she expect his or her subordinates to follow him or her? Rook to d1. Well said. I shall take up your advice. Queen to e7. Pawn to e4. Ulquiorra cocked an eyebrow. Are you sure about that? Rook to e8. Hell yeah. Pawn to b3. Anko was blitzing her attention at the chessboard, desperately trying to catch up to Ulquiorra and Samly's speed. Pawn to d4. I'm taking that annoyance from you. Ulquiorra smirked eerily when Anko gawked at him. How did you know there is something at d4? She moved it as her opening and I memorized it. It's a pawn, by the way. Oh yeah? Who cares if you can do flimsy things like that? The purple-haired woman was seething with petty rage as she crossed her arms. Besides, I don't like chess anyway. It's alright, Anko-chan. Samly jolted in fright when Naruto appeared behind her. You'll get better if you practice often. Oh, knight to d4. Ulquiorra ate his muffin and sighed apathetically. Knight to c5. Naruto-sama, you should consider giving Samly-san a tour in the mansion. She might get lost if you didn't. I plan to. Samly regained her bearings and scowled. Where is Shizen? I'm planning to show you. Come on, Samly-chan. Naruto snatched a muffin from the tray and ran. Samly tailed the enigmatic blonde after smirking at the pale Arrancar. Bishop to f4. See ya. Ulquiorra narrowed his eyes to vicious slits as he watched the two blondes vanish from the living room. His hands were trembling and Anko knew well to back away. Naruto-sama stole my last muffin. My muffin. Naruto had brought Samly to Shizen's room. She was sleeping peacefully and Samly smiled in relief. Afterwards, Naruto brought Samly to a grand tour in his mansion. The library was built with a sense of the medieval period, from antiques and grand paintings served as decorations to the high-quality wood used to made the wall. Harabelle had spent her time reading books as leisure. The training ground was Anko's favorite spot. She had spent hours expanding her skills to top-notch state. Ulquiorra, however, was seen often playing chess while surrounded by various sorts of sweets. Samly was a good judge of character when it came down to a saying stranger, and she felt that profiling an individual's personality was mandatory. The fact that Naruto openly told her his former title was not a surprise to her. The blonde was kind in every ways. He was cheerful, optimistic, and a pacifist. Such personalities aren't found in a sadistic hollow who was notoriously famed for making carnage seem like a kid's work. She had much to think about Naruto Uzumaki. She ventured to the balcony and poured herself a glass of wine before settling down on the chair. It had been a while since she admired the moon. She never really had the opportunity to be relaxed in Hueco Mundo. She was not paranoid. It was called being highly alert to the surrounding. She had peers who died for negligence, and she would be damned to repeat those foolish mistakes. Here she was. Her humanity was regained, but she felt stigmatized by her supposedly betrayal to Mei Terumi, the one she had adored and respected. Samui couldn't believe that she had left the sisterhood wittingly. Why did she leave Mei to Naruto? She didn't know. Perhaps she was confused, or perhaps she demanded more power. She was envious when Anko defeated those hollows with ease, no doubt, but she was pondering by her instincts. Her train of thoughts were disrupted when a voice of benevolence sounded beside her. Thinking much? Yes. Samui placed her glass on the table and stared at the moon. Why do you wish to have a family? I was born without one. To be blunt, I am very jealous of humans. Those humans who have a place they could call home and people they could rely on. I have none. I have no memories of my childhood as a human, because I have none. It is selfish and kinda one-sided point of view. That I know. It feels great to know that there is someone you can depend on. Someone who won't kill you the minute you turn your back against them. But deep in my heart, killing isn't the best solution to life's problems. It is sad to end someone's life. What happens if that someone is a serial murderer? There must be reasons as in why he commits such atrocity. However, one cannot forgive that he, in his reasonable and sensible state, should vent his lust or desires on things that he should never have. Perhaps childhood, experiences and memories are backlashes, however. That still doesn't mean they should indulge in satisfying their needs on others' pain, or refute the society for spite. The society is corrupted. One can only hope to save the grace that remains in our deplorable world. But you haven't answered my questions. Samui blinked. Truthfully, everybody deserves a chance. It counts to how the person uses that chance. I just don't enjoy being an executioner. I have seen memories of my tenants' battle records. It is unpleasant and gruesome, but still, I don't take pleasure in ending someone's life. Situations vary. I might if someone intends to inflict harm on my family. If any outsiders hurt you, I will hunt them down, interrogate them, and perhaps kill them. Naruto grimaced. I'm a hypocrite, I know. No. I actually find it touching. You will do that for me, even when I don't know you much. Relations take times to cultivate. We will reach to a mutual understanding, and the feeling will be reciprocated, that's for sure. Naruto smiled. You like smiling, don't you? Samui cocked a brow. Yes. Although there isn't much scientific proof, smiling makes life better. However, if we wish to discuss the extent of the term scientific, I will say that it is contradictory and unreliable. I am plausible that science's evolution grows and as such process develops further, the truth that was once stated as truth will be blemished into falsified reality, and will be replaced by the improved truth. Heh, weird, huh? Naruto scratched his head sheepishly. Yes, it is a rather vague subject indeed. It definitely destitutes substance from the way you phrase it, and I have to acknowledge such understanding. No, I mean, as in, my conversation's topics. I don't see any problems in it. I find it very educational, rather. So, what are your plans for the future? Naruto grinned. I plan to construct a swimming pool outside the mansion, maybe plant more flowers at the, the political, serious issues. Haribel, Anko, Shizen and I are now marked as traitors to the sisterhood. Then there is Danzo's armed federation. Also, not to mention, the horsemen. I have never met one except Mei-sama. Naruto choked upon realization. You mean this Mei-san is a horseman? That's cool. What do you mean? Samui growled. Are you implying that women aren't deserving of such titles? And no. I mean Mei-san is? I'm just messing with you. Samui giggled. You're funny when you're flustered, Naruto. Nobody will believe the iniquitous harbinger of doom will blush like a shy, embarrassed little boy. How cute. Samui-chan. Naruto pouted but furrowed his brows, and Samui caught on the implication. What's wrong? Did you like regaining your humanity? Naruto's question was unequivocal and blunt, but carried different layers of underneath questions. What do you mean by that? Do you like it? I suppose so. To me, it's a double-edged sword. Naruto sighed. He had been pondering over this issue for a while. The expansion of his family members brought him to a new, but darker light of truth. Explain. humanity composes of the nuance of conscience and guilt. As you are aware of my devil's existence, I happen to see his memories. I have seen all of them. Kyubi no Kitsune, he is a demon made by Kami herself and posed as a guard to humanity. He is like a beacon, a detector, destroying the opprobrium conduct of humanities and the unforgivable sins humanities have done. War, conflict, gang rapes. As long as a land consists of too much of such negative influences, he appears and kills. The blonde spoke in an ostensible monotone. You ask me if somebody deserves to die, will I kill them? Naruto chuckled darkly. Then I will be honest with you. If my devil clouds my judgment, the answer is yes. I will kill them the most horrendous way. I have seen the memories of Kyubi. It was revolting. Not in the sense that Kyubi's existence is revolting. I see humanity's negative side. It was cruel, brutal, and undesirable. I actually hated humans for once, just as Kyubi did. I cannot become ignorant to the fact that such sins aren't eradicated in the world of the living, but you must remember. Samui interjected. Humanity's negativity creates us. We live because of it. Perhaps so. But I cannot accept it. I really just can't accept the fact that there is such atrocity in life. Sometimes, I feel like being a human isn't all it's cracked up to me. I have seen how men cornered a frail little girl and raped her senseless. I have seen people killing each other like there was no tomorrow. I have seen parents abusing their own children, and some even raped them for pleasure. I was naive for once. Perhaps Kyubi was evil because of confronting too many evils. Perhaps humanity is beyond saving. Ha, what the hell am I talking about? Naruto scratched his head in annoyance. Kyubi once asked me what peace is. I told him that it means equality to all souls. I was wrong, I was a fool. He shows me those memories like watching a movie. I vomited and I was disgusted. My faith was shaken. I don't know who to believe in. I believe in yourself. Samui smiled benignly. You will find the answer. Heh, I wish I can tell myself that. To be honest, I may just be like Kyubi himself. We both share many similar dislikes. I hate sins, I hate atrocity, I hate killing. I guess he does as well. We might not really be any different, I supposed. Still, I will not sink to his level. Naruto rested his head on the chair and sighed heavily. Why is life so miserably confusing? I'm so tired. The female blonde watched as Naruto slowly closed his eyes and fell asleep. He looked so fragile, so confused, and so lonely. Who would think that the great Dios del Apocalipsis does have a heart? And a gentle one at that. Samui smiled before she too fell asleep. Mei was furious. Firstly, someone had abducted her girls, and they're one of her best warriors. Secondly, someone had plotted her girls' demises. That graveyard was rumored to live rogue hollows, but it was a blasphemy made to fool hollows not to disturb a certain horseman who resided within it. The only one who would wittily compromise her girl's mission was Danzo Shimura, a cranky bastard. Danzo is giving me a message. Mei growled. A declaration of war. What should we do, Mei-sama? We are willing to fight to the death for you. Give us the orders and we will attack. Nilio said as the other female hollows cheered behind her. I am going to the battlefield. Mei's eyes glowed with determination. But, my queen, if a leader doesn't move, her subordinates will not move. Is that not what I have taught you? It is time to show Danzo who he should never mess with. The sisterhood roared in excitement. However, Mei had a bad vibe about it. Her sixth scene was telling her not to go. But Danzo must be dealt with. In the end, she shoved her instincts aside and made preparations. Tomorrow would be bloody for both parties, and Mei intended to be the victor. I hope our cooperation is fruitful for our dreams, Madara. Danzo smirked as he stroked the soft hair of the barely conscious Konan. It was akin to a master petting a feeble cat. Mei is protective towards her troops. We will exploit it and use it as our advantage. She will become impulsive and declare a full-fledged war against you. I will come to play then. After all, eliminating a horseman is not small business. She is the strongest female hollow who ever existed in Hueco Mundo's history. She cannot be underestimated, no matter what. Madara grinned. Still, I intend to be the victor. Nothing will stand in our way. Great, but I do hope you stand firm in the bargain. I will gain full control of Mei's lands and what's left of her troops. You will proceed to eliminate other horsemen for me. Sparing a mocking glance at Konan, who was glaring fiercely at her murderer, Madara cackled. Konan, I never know you will end up as a hollow. I thought an angel, such as you, belongs in soul society. Well, life is such a paradox, isn't it? Konan can't retaliate, She simply hadn't had any energy to speak. She was weak, humiliated, and utterly crushed. Her mask had shattered and half of them were gone, exposing her bruised, yet obvious angelic features. She was truly a goddess that transcended beyond the word of beauty. Danzo planned to slowly, but surely broke the girl's will and made her his slave. There was simply no hope for her. The chess play comes from one of Hikaru Nakamura's matches. All credits of the chess game go to him and his opponent. I also did some referencing from my favorite show, Mentalist. And damn, Danzo sure is a bastard. I must warn you, readers, Madara is just as strong as the Horsemen of Apocalypse. Undecided pairings. Narutux Mainarutux Haribel Narutux and Konarutux Samya Narutux Shizen Narutux Nilio Narutux Anada. Nobody likes this pairing. Why? I might do it to piss people off. Naruto x Harem Naruto x Kurinai. Reviewer's choice, Naruto x someone. Naruto was standing in the middle of a forest. The blonde perked his head up and appreciated the empyrean blue of the sky. But everything seems isolated. It was as if there was no life, except the somber trees embedded in nature. Channeling spirit energy into his feet, Naruto levitated himself to the sky. Once he reached the apex of the scenario, he was astonished by the sheer magnitude of trees spanning vastly across the continents. How did I end up here? A static blur animated before him and a presence introduced himself to Naruto. The blonde widened his eyes in disbelief as he surveyed the mysterious intruder. It was as if he was staring at his own reflection, but the opposing figure had black sclera and sinister vermilion iris with slitted pupils. Naruto also noticed the fashion preference his counterpart wore. The strange being was wearing a white blazer, red shirt and a dark trouser. Who are you? The enigmatic entity smirked deviously. Oh, seriously? Use that brain of yours to think. Who am I? You're not Kyuubi. Well, that's clever of you. That's right. I am not Kyuubi. Wanna take another guess? Naruto gritted his teeth in vexation. Stop joking around. The entity narrowed his eyes. A scowl had replaced his former expression. TCH, I really have a dumb idiot for a master, huh? I am the destroyer that protects. I am you. Naruto didn't have the time to register the abrupt information when a hand had seized his face and threw him, with aggressive force, at the trees. The almighty strength of the repulsion expelled a malevolent shockwave throughout the entire forest. Naruto was blasted towards the ground with a sickening impact, resulting in a monstrous crater to form upon collision. The blonde groaned at his affliction and coughed out blood. Damn it. What the hell? Don't you get it, Naruto? I am you. You are me. We are one. Kyuubi is me. I am Kyuubi. We are one as well. In other words, I am you. I am Kyuubi. The nexus of Kyuubi and you result in me. I am the true balance of both energies. The entity guffawed with wicked intent, lacing his tone and a dreadful echo accompanying his voices as he articulated each syllabus. It seems you are inconceivable, as usual. Allow me to demonstrate the extent of my powers. Mundo Conquistador Zero. World Conqueror Zero. Hearing the command phrase of his signature technique, Naruto staggered. Oh shit. The doppelganger vanished into a thin trail of light before the entire sky radiated an apocalyptic crimson. The blonde braced himself when the heaven was ripped by an ungodly vacuum, and a humongous column of unavoidable energy crashed into the unforgiving soil, obliterating the entire forest in the process. The entity materialized beside the limp frame of Naruto and smirked, not ebulliently or victoriously, but maliciously. How does it feel to be hit by your finest creation? Feel great, isn't it? Naruto was bleeding profusely and his wounds were severe, but regeneration had started its operation. The blonde tried to stand, but failed miserably and collapsed to the ground. The entity spat at Naruto's pathetic state. You're weak. What do you want? Inane questions. You seek the aberrations of truth with foolish rectitude to the principle of life. You indulge yourself so deep into the black abyss that you lose sight of who you really are. You're a god who denounces your own title and forfeits the right to rule. This world is a binary opposition between right and wrong. But this universe is a twisted notion of cruel reality and defective dogmas. Why you didn't answer my question? Naruto coughed as he clenched a handful of soil in frustration. However, the entity continued. You demand the truth. But truth is colored by propaganda and a variance of deceptive connotation that lacks substance. It is vague and obnoxious sometimes. What I want is the absolute truth. The absolute truth? A disturbing grin tugged at the entity's lips. Tell me, with that profound intelligence of yours, do you believe one day people will understand each other? Why, yes. As long as, fool. The entity stormed on Naruto's head with sheer umbrage and was rewarded with a grunt of agony. You are an idealistic fool after all. As long as we live, as long as the world is engraved with the terrible fate of having humans residing this planet, there will have no peace. There is no jurisdiction to the truth of what's right and wrong. There is no right and wrong. You may have killed a man out of sympathy, but others would inevitably judge you with insecure ethics. You may have achieved falsified satisfaction in murdering a contemptible human, but justice will concede of your immorality, the blonde yelled in anger. Just tell me what you want. The entity shook his head in disappointment. How impatience. After all my speech, you still don't get what I desire? I want you to become what I am. I want you to claim your title as a god. It is time for you to fulfill your destiny. We both wish to solve the endless cycle of hatred. We both want to discover what the absolute truth is. We both want to understand the nature of the benign fate of life and the dark nature of fate. They say that empathy leads to understanding, but understanding derives from the individual's acceptance in embracing alternative judgments in total volition. Why you want me to become a god? What nonsense is that? Stop denying godhood. You know you are capable of that. You see how ugly the world is. How tainted and vile the world is. Peace and free will are simply an illusion. You know that one day the humans will embark themselves on their quest to spread democracy. Democracy is hypocrisy. It is a lie. Democracy stratifies to the extremity of advertising freedom and equality. There is no freedom, there is no equality, there is no universal truth, and the liberation of all creations is the greatest joke in history. Well, nobody has an answer for what's right and what's wrong. Just as there is no universal truth, there will be no universe false. So, what's truth? The entity looked at the sky in wonderment. Naruto spoke begrudgingly. I have no answer to what you seek. You have. You are the perfect candidate to become a god. You will understand me one day. Unless you acquire an answer to conflict, you can't seek peace. Remember, hollows are born from humans' emotions. You are born out of hatred and forged from goodwill. Kyuubi is the embodiment of domination, and his raw instincts are stored within you. You get it now, don't you? As long as you live, mankind's fate rests in your hands. Whether you're competent to take that mantle, it is up to your decision. When you accept it, come to me and I will give you what you truly desire. I do not have the right to choose such decisions. Naive fool you are. The rights are not given to you. You take it by will and by force. The doppelganger smiled uncharacteristically at Naruto. Trust me, there will be no miscalculations. Everybody seating at the breakfast table was staring at Anko, who currently had her hands attached on her right cheek, peeling the banana with her teeth. Naruto yawned in sheer fatigue as he walked into the kitchen with a dazed stupor and noticed Anko's strange predicament. The blonde blinked groggily before asking his quiet family with a deadpan. Do I want to know? Samui sighed. Ulquiorra took away the staple gun but she found the super glue. Naruto nodded in understanding and opened the refrigerator's door nonchalantly. So they're arguing again? Ulquiorra replied hastily as he dropped a few marshmallows into his tea. Don't blame me. She gets impulsive at petty little things. Shut up! Anko yelled. I can hear you. Thanks for reminding me, Captain Obvious. Ulquiorra retorted while staring at the apple lying on the table. By the way, where's the muffin? In the fridge, as always. Harabelle stated with sarcasm laced in her tone. Don't condescend to me. People are starting to do that to me all the time. I'm starting to feel annoyed. The pale Arrancar narrowed his eyes to slits and proceeded to grab his wonders. Naruto sat on the nearby chair and yawned. Perceiving the blonde's exhausted state, Shizen queried. Naruto-sama, what's wrong? You look like you just stay in a cave filled with bickering monkeys. That's one way of putting it. Samui smirked. Anko spoke in between foods in her mouth. Yeah, you a lock like a stone face. Swallow your food before talking, woman. Ulquiorra shut the door of the refrigerator and settled down on his seat. What's wrong with women these days? Samui placed her cup of milk on the table and frowned with mock disdain. Don't generalize all women because of one woman. You make us look like lollipops with a pungent smell and a disgusting taste. What do you mean by that? Anko eyed the female blonde with a threatening glare. I hate metaphors. Exactly what I mean, girlfriend. Besides, they're not metaphors, they're similes. And I care why. Harabelle read her book with an uninterested expression plastered on her beatific features. Seriously, a couple of lemon drops on your pie might really stop you from being hyper all the time. And maybe a couple of coffee drops might stop me from breaking necks. Anko countered fluently. Your neck, preferably. Will you guys stop fighting 31? Naruto's face slammed onto the table and he instantly fell asleep. 31? Shizen asked out of curiosity and drank her orange juice. It means the combination of 24 and 7. Ulquiorra chewed his muffin and stroked his chin in contemplation. Though I must say, that is very convenient. 31. Less of 2 syllabuses and only required 2 words to describe the whole scenario. Truly fascinating. I have to tell someone about it someday. You know, I was thinking about what you told me the other day about marriage, Anko, and I have a theory. Do I want to know? The violet-haired woman managed to pull her glued hand away from her cheek and groaned. I hope it doesn't involve English muffins and awkward space tortoise. Don't insult the muffins. It's a cruel thing to do. Anyway, as I was saying, marriage is like riding on spinning teacups. Ulquiorra stared at his cup of tea, no pun intended, and twirled the spoon in his beverage before smiling darkly at his surrogate sister. His eyes suddenly darted to the windows briefly before staring back at Anko. It's always a fun ride until you vomit your guts out. I got that inspiration from Haribel's book. Good day. The pale Arrancar stood up and left after swallowing his tea. He's irritating. Can't wait to kick his ass in the training ground at noon later. He will be humiliated. And devastated. I got an ace up my sleeves. A malevolent grin curled up at Anko's lips disturbingly before hiding a muffin in her coat pocket. Anko? Samui responded with a nervous gaze. Yeah, you got a little evil on your face. Haribel said while fixating her focus on her book. Anko tried to wipe her wicked smile away from her face, literally. Samui pointed to Anko's left cheek and scowled. The other side. That evil smile is not fading. Besides, why will Hueco Mundo has noon anyway? It's dark all the time, for cry out loud. You can always pretend there is one. Samui sighed as she stared at her other surrogate sisters. Remind me why I'm living with nutcases? But you're a nutcase too. Anko giggled impishly. So not. The fact that you're arguing with a nutcase proves my point. You Samui gawked at the victorious comeback. For once, she had nothing to say, and that's saying something. None of them noticed that Naruto had long disappeared. Itachi Uchiha was only following his orders begrudgingly. He thought that after death, he might find serenity. He was an undeniable pacifist who scorned pointless bloodshed and unnecessary violence. Every dispute was solvable as long as people were opted to comprehend one another. Sadly, life was a paradox. Itachi had schemed to become a sinister entity for his younger brother to hate when he was alive in the world of the living. He made Sasuke stronger in his own ways, and his younger brother killed him, just as he had planned. However, he was upset when his brother was fooled by mere words from the likes of Madara Uchiha. Working as a subordinate under Madara's influences, Sasuke flourished into a cold-blooded warrior with no compassions for others. Itachi always thought there was no miscalculation in his plan. His confidence was his miscalculation. Standing before the gates of a mansion, rumored to have lived the reputable god of Hueco Mundo, Itachi was apathetic. Perhaps the Dios del Apocalipsis could deliver him the judgment. It was much more honorable dying in the hands of a god than Danzo. He had no quandary with death. After all, he was technically dead. In an instant, a sonic blur manifested before him, and there stood before him a man with unkempt dark hair, green eyes, a rather pale complexion and 2 parallel tear marks stained on his features. The intruder wore a dark blazer, a white shirt with a loose green tie around his neck and dark jeans. You must be the infamous Itachi Uchiha. I have heard of your exploit in the West. You are now working with Danzo, aren't you? Itachi blinked, remaining expressionless. Ulquiorra returned the stoic stares. Well, I am Itachi Uchiha. And I am here to seek a meaningful death. Meaningful death? Ulquiorra arched a brow. Unfortunately, I do not understand what you mean by that. It doesn't matter. Leave our premise at once. Itachi shook his head. I cannot do that. You will. The pale Arrancar narrowed his eyes to threatening slits. I will not repeat myself. Leave. I will not repeat myself as well. Ulquiorra sighed. Very well. If you're well being persistent, then I shall not stop you from being well. As I am well, you're well as well. I see no reason why I should make you unwell. Unexpectedly, the pale Arrancar spun around, dug his fists into his pockets, and walked back to the mansion. Itachi was still confused at Ulquiorra's statement. What are you doing? Are you not going to attack me? Ulquiorra halted his steps. Why? I am an invader, and it is only logical that you will attack me. Turning his head slightly, Ulquiorra spoke quietly. Logics are only circumscribed subjectively to one's mind. An Arrancar steps beyond the evolutionary heritage of a hollow. We Arrancars do not resort everything to battles, unlike hollows. Do not degrade us as one of you. Itachi widened his eyes in shock. Arrancars? You sound as if you're a pacifist. That's right. Ulquiorra twirled around and faced Itachi. We are pacifists. I am starting to like this new change of lifestyle. If you can excuse me, I will be returning back to the mansion for some cakes. Good day. With that said, the pale Arrancar vanished into a static resonance, leaving his vacated spot a hovering swirl of sand. Itachi stood dumbfounded by his discovery, but his contemplations were disrupted when another presence intruded. A blonde stood before him, dressed in a white coat, dark shirt and black trousers. The stranger simply stared at him, and Itachi was perturbed by both the silence and the blonde's soulless pair of sapphire eyes. Itachi sighed and spoke. Are you not Dios del Apocalipsis? There was no response. The blonde just kept staring. Itachi swallowed the nervous lump in his throat. Will you like to be one of us? Itachi blinked. What? I said, will you like to be one of us? Don't you know that Danzo sent me here to answer the question? Itachi clenched his shaky fists. This was a rare opportunity for Itachi to finally be freed from the accursed world of hatred and violence. Besides, he had already forfeited his life to the devil once, no problem to do it twice. Having a firm resolve in his mind, Itachi nodded solemnly. Yes, follow me. Itachi was stunned beyond comprehension. He had regained his humanity, and his former body. It was a miracle, and he could feel an overpowering force running through his veins, waiting to be erupted. He had never felt so refreshing, and he had never felt so powerful before. It was as if he could destroy Danzo now if he wanted to. Glancing around the spacious room, decorated with luxurious furniture, Itachi stared at his hands. He was an Arrancar now. However, he didn't know why Naruto would want to grant him such unimaginative strength. Perhaps he saw his true colors and his ideals for pacifisms. Still, Itachi needed to weigh himself as a double agent for Danzo as well. But it wasn't a secret that he was the esteemed general of Danzo. The strangeness of Naruto's behavior and improvised decisions were confounding. Sighing heavily, Itachi walked to the door of his room. When I was still a child, I always believed that beautiful women don't poop. Ulquiorra said as he ate his muffin. Yeah. Exactly. Samui beamed excitedly. That's what I thought when I was young. How could a beautiful woman poop? It's impossible when you think about it. This conversation is awkward. Harabelle hugged her teddy bear tightly as she added her 2 cents in. Logically, humans can do that. I didn't know that when I was a child. Samui tapped her chin. And then I learned my lesson when I told my mom that she's not beautiful because she could poop. She got up from the toilet bowl and hit me. Anko laughed hysterically and then confessed. Actually, I was a fat kid when I was young. Samui and Harabelle then stared at Anko incredulously before eyeing her ample bosoms. We understand. Where did all the fat go? No. I'm serious. The children used to bully me when I was in the academy. Other girls will molest me and touch my... Samui choked in her laughter and Harabelle tried to pay attention to her book, suppressing her giggles in the process. Ulquiorra was surprisingly calm. Once, this guy slaps me for being fat. Anko pouted and Samui gasped. That's horrible. That's why I'd become so mean after that. The purple-haired woman yelled in exasperation. Do you know that boy went missing after that? After I'd become skinny. What happened to the girl who molested you? She died from hanging herself with her panties. Anko giggled evilly at her fancy memories while Samui and Harabelle couldn't retain themselves from laughing. At that moment, Itachi stepped into the living room in a dazed stupor, completely unaware of his situation. Anko widened her eyes in petrifaction when she saw Itachi staring at them. Why you? Oh? Anko? It has been a while since we last met. Within split seconds, Anko had tackled Itachi onto the ground and seized his collar in umbrage. You! Why are you here? Harabelle and Samui were stunned. Anko? What's wrong? He's Itachi Uchiha. He was my captain when I was alive as a kunoichi. He solely massacred his entire clan. He is evil! Anko growled. Who let you in? Why are you an Arrancar? Naruto-sama. Lies. Anko-chan. Naruto stood at the entrance of the living room with Shizen behind his back, angered by Anko's misconduct. What do you think you're doing? Itachi is evil, Naruto-kun. We must kill him. He will betray us if... Enough! Anko-chan, get to your room now. You are being childish lately. Naruto glared at Anko. The violet-haired woman gritted her teeth and stood up. Her purple bangs casted an ominous shadow over her eyes and her fists were trembling with rage. Don't say I didn't warn any of you. Anko swiftly vanished into a sonic resonance. Naruto sighed and offered a hand. Itachi thanked his new master, accepted the hand and was pulled to a standing posture. I apologize for Anko-chan's rudeness. I understand. I have not left a good impression in the first place. I have my own faults. Thanks for your understanding. Please enjoy your stay. Naruto smiled and walked away. Shizen followed the blonde subsequently. Anko was sitting on her bed, polishing her toenails when she heard soft, yet audible knocks emitting from her door. The purple-haired woman snarled in annoyance and yelled, "I'm busy! Fuck off and shit somewhere. Stop brooding, Anko." Okuiora said behind closed door. Strangely, the pale Arrancar knew Anko more than anybody else. "I'm coming in. What part of fuck off and shit somewhere don't you get it?" "Leave me alone." Okuiora shrugged leisurely. "Very well, I'll just go and tell Naruto-sama that you are planning to rape him violently tonight for reprimanding you." Gritting her teeth in frustration, Anko yelled, "Come in, you little son of a." Okuiora opened the door and strolled into the room before seating at a chair with his legs pulled near to his chest, facing his surrogate sister. He was wearing his typical long-sleeves white shirt and baggy blue jeans. "I know you don't trust Itachi, and I'm here to tell you that I, too, doubt his allegiance. Still, you did overreact just now. Then what do you want me to do? Smile happily and welcome him to our funerals? Pretty much it." Okuiora rummaged his pocket and pulled out a muffin before munching on his favorite snack. "Besides, it's Naruto-sama's decision. If he believes in him, then I don't see why we shouldn't. It's not like he can defeat all of us, despite his utmost abilities. However, I am able to deduce Naruto-sama's true intention. Itachi is clearly a spy sent by Danzo to study us. However, unlike ordinary hollows, Naruto-sama sees through the truth of Itachi. I do not know what he sees about him, but if he has gone to such length to recruit him, I don't see why we shouldn't sign Naruto-sama's thinking. I don't care what Naruto-kun thinks. Itachi used to be that old ass's drone, and you used to be Mei's baby sister." "Shut up. Mei-sama is different from Danzo," Anko retorted. "She's a caring hollow," Okuiora replied monotonously with an inscrutable expression. "She's a dictator. She's elected to be the leader of the sisterhood, and it concerns me why?" Anko deadpanned. "If I don't know you any better, I'll say that you're starting to pick up my bad habits." Okuiora quirked a subtle, yet abnormally mischievous smirk. "Oh? Where did that come from? Finally acknowledging your own flaws, I might have to check if the sky is falling or not. You're an asshole, you know that? What can I say? I learned from the best. Good night, Anko." Within split seconds, Okuiora vanished into a static blur. After digesting the context of the retaliation, Anko blinked dumbly before yelling, "Are you implying that I'm the greatest asshole?" The violet-haired Arrancar took a deep breath and continued what she was doing before, but paused when she felt a familiar presence. "What do you want from me? Give me another scolding again? I'm sorry about what happened just now. I have to do what must be done." Naruto chuckled nervously as he scratched his hair. "I know you have some difficulties in your swordplay. I'm just wondering if you want me to help you in your training regime. I watch how you try to fight and your struggles, and I conclude that you're very rigid in your stances. I know the best solution for you to improve your steps. And if we look at the plus side, the training session serves as my apologies for yelling at you just now. I have my reason for letting Itachi to live with us." Anko grinned. "Now you're talking my language. So, are we going to the training ground?" The blonde smirked mysteriously. "No. Somewhere special though." "What the hell is this place?" Anko examined the chamber with colors specified from the visible spectrum. "It's so colorful? I built this place for you." Naruto threw his coat at the bench and checked the water bottles. The former serpent cocked a disbelief eyebrow. "Why, you mean you built this entire place for me? Yeah? What's wrong?" The blonde flexed his wrists and legs. "We're family. It's the least I can do. Anyway, the solution for your problem is dancing." "Dancing?" Anko scratched her hair in confusion. "What does dancing has anything to do with what we are going to do?" "Don't underestimate the magnificent power of dancing. It's art. It's being creative. It's walking the walk of the natural. It's fooling your enemies with the unpredictable. If your skills are ordinary and shabby, then any veteran combatants can predict what your next move will be. Are you following me? Dancing is like freestyle fighting. You know the fundamental knowledge, then you need to know how to apply it. To be honest, when I fight, I pretend I'm dancing." Naruto's sagacious statement caused Anko to stroke her chin. "Very interesting. So why is Shizen here?" Shizen was standing at a distance meekly while smiling buoyantly at the pair. "I'm the assistant today. Anyway, Shir-chan, could you brief Anko-chan with the details?" I need to bring the dancing king here. Anko was perturbed. Wait. Aren't you teaching me? Do I look like I'm a dancing king? He is coming. Hold on, I'll go fetch him here. He needs to be directed or he'll be lost. Naruto disappeared into a sonic resonance and left a gentle breeze. Shizen smiled at Anko and walked towards her surrogate sister. If you're thinking that I'm going to join you, then you're wrong. I don't wish to fight. Naruto-sama grants me the opportunity to work in his laboratory so I can contribute myself to the Society of Medicine. It is a global issue that needs constant attention. Right? Anko scowled. So you're gonna be with Naruto-kun 31? Figuratively, yes. Technically, no. Good. An awkward silence intruded. Anko sighed. Do you want to catch a beer after this? But alcohol is harmful. Anko snorted. Suck it up, pansy. But I'm serious. And you, my dear sister, needs to get laid. The purple-haired woman tapped her foot impatiently. How does sex has to do with anything? Sex doesn't solve any problems, period. Shizen flushed a deep red. It is a horrible misconception the society is being influenced of. I believe someone needs to focus on their priorities in life. Oh, by the way, Dancing King is very sensitive to his artistic styles. Try not to offend him. And he's also rushing to another concert after teaching you the necessities, just so you know. Suddenly, the entire chamber became dark and Anko shrieked. What's happening? Is the world ending? The spotlight casted a climatic light on a spot, which revealed a blonde wearing a white fedora hat, a flamboyant glittery jacket and dark jeans, posing a melodramatic posture. Hello, everybody. I'm the Dancing King. But you can just call me DK. DK started kicking and punching hair, and then jumped to perform a ballet dance, only to twitch in agony and fell to the ground pathetically. Damn. I pulled a muscle. Shizen rushed to DK's side and queried in concern. Are you alright, Narua DK-sama? Do I look like I'm alright? Sorry. Shizen aided DK up and the blonde dusted his pants. Yes, I'm DK. Nice to meet you. Naruto-kun, what are you doing? Who's Naruto? I'm DK. Right. Naruto-kun's alter ego, what are we doing again? Shizen sighed. DK-sama, Anko here wants to learn dancing. DK touched his elbow while his index finger was tapping his cheek vivaciously. Amusing, can you dance? I'm not good at dancing, DK-sensei. Maybe a little. Anko placed a hand on her hip. Shizen chimed in with delight. DK-sama is professionally experienced. He can determine your strength even if you simply raise a hand. Even if you shake your butt a little, he knows how good you are. He is that good. I'm the best. DK hid his giggles shyly like a shrewd little girl who just stole a cookie from the cookie jar. Why do you act like a sissy? Anko asked. The blonde snatched Shizen's wrist and ambled to a sequestered corner. What does she mean by me being a sissy? Is she insulting my art form? I am an international superstar. I demand respect. Why, you're mistaken, DK-sama. The brunette said with a tempered volume loud enough for Anko to hear. Anko is speaking her slangs. It means you're very handsome and charming. Act like a sissy, roughly translate to, behaves like an adorable individual, please pardon her. She only means well. You know kiss? She is trying to mean that she wants to kiss you. It means she likes you a lot. She has never met such a charming person like you, DK-sama. DK clutched his chest and was touched by Anko's sincerity before twirling around like a ballet dancer and apologized. I'm so sorry. I didn't know your love. Please forgive me. One part of Anko wished to give Naruto in disguise a big hug. Another part of Anko wished to give Naruto a big slap. See, can we just get on with it? Yes, let's get started. Now, be observant and follow my footsteps. It's actually very easy. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Anko complied and watched DK move open his left leg and return back to its original position swiftly. DK then shifted his right leg apart before adjusting it back to its position elegantly. We need to be flexible here. Come. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Anko struggled to imitate DK's pace and action. Now we move on to the hand work. DK graciously moved and flexed his hands and wrists in a complex fashion. Let's do it from the beginning. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 5, 6, 7, 8. This is so hard. This is harder than my own steps. DK eyed Anko with a hurt look. I'm so sorry. Are you comparing me to whomever bloke who teaches you? I'm an international superstar. I'm the Dancing King. Okay, DK-sensei, can we get this over with? DK blinked dumbly before snatching Shizen's arm and walked to another sulky corner. What is she implying? Is she saying I'm speaking rubbish? Is she saying I'm wasting her time? No, DK-sama, you've mistaken Anko's slangs again. Shizen remedied with her earnest effort. She's saying that she wants to finish fast because she understands your tight schedule. She is afraid that she is wasting your time. We all know that money can't buy time. She just wants to cherish the time spent with you and the dancing session. Please pardon Anko's colloquial language. DK giggled childishly and skipped back to Anko. I'm so sorry for misunderstanding you. Anko-chan, let us continue. Anko couldn't help but sweat dropped. A few hours later. I don't like it. Anko crossed her arms as she stared at the microwave, which was cooking her pie currently. Me neither. Harabelle leaned against the kitchen countertop, her gazes fixated keenly on her book. What's the alternative? It's a mistake. The purple-haired Arrancar hissed. Naruto-sama told me it kills brain cells if you use that a lot. I prefer to use the oven. Anko blinked, confused at Harabelle's statement. What are you talking about? The female blonde raised her attention at Anko and arched a brow. Microwaves. What are you talking about? Rolling her eyes with annoyance, Anko growled. Itachi Uchiha. Oh. You're looking at the microwave, so Harabelle flipped a page from her book and grinned. What about him? He's not going to hurt us. You say that, but you don't know. If Naruto-sama believes in him, we should believe in him. The microwave emitted a loud beep, signaling its accomplishment. Anko opened the small door and seized her pie before nibbling it. Pondering for a while, Anko furrowed her brows. What if Naruto-kun is wrong? What if Itachi is trying to kill us in our sleep? We can't totally trust Naruto-kun's judgment. He might be wrong. It's like believing in Easter Bunny. Samui took the chance to interrupt. Who says Easter Bunny doesn't exist? Ulquiorra walked into the kitchen too. His haven was the kitchen anyway. My mouth is empty. I need dessert. The girls, except Harabelle, gawked at Ulquiorra's awkwardness and continued their conversation, ignoring the pale Arrancar's presence. It's either Itachi is a good liar, or Naruto just wants to supervise Itachi's actions and deem his trustworthiness. You need to have faith with the boy. We all know that Itachi is Danzo's general. However, Naruto-sama must have seen something that nobody has seen from Itachi. Good liar? Heh. I'm a better liar than him. Oh, sorry to burst your bubbles, Ulquiorra intervened. But you're translucent, my dear. Sometimes I let you fool me so you can think you actually can deceive me, deceiving someone at my intellect. It is just a game of deceptions. In this case, I make you think you manipulated me so I could manipulate you more in the future. In fact, I know your lying expressions all too well. Oh yeah? Name one event. Anko fumed. Ulquiorra coughed. Last week you said you wanted to explore Naruto-sama's laboratory to get adapted to the mansion, but I knew you went through Naruto-sama's dimension portal to travel to the world of the living and subsequently bought a few pair of bras and panties. You even stole the currency from the world of the living from Naruto-sama's wallet to buy dango for yourself. Samui snickered, Harabelle smirked, Ulquiorra remained stoically triumphant, and Anko blushed in embarrassment. As so? That's one time. The pale Arrancar suddenly smiled deviously at Anko, and the purple-haired woman knew when to quickly change subject. We're talking about Itachi, right? What about him? A caramel slice mysteriously appeared in Ulquiorra's hands as he munched on it with gusto. We should take precautions against him. Harabelle flipped to the next page and yawned. I know we should take precautions against you, Harabelle. Anko protested. What can we do? Samui sighed. It's not like we can do anything. He is one of us now. He works for Danzo. So? Harabelle asked. So, it isn't nice to talk about someone behind his back. Itachi stood at the doorway. His hand was shown grabbing a packet of Pocky. Whatever. We're not gonna trust you and I'm gonna put my foot down on this. Anko snarled before striding past Itachi, purposely bumping onto his shoulders in anger. Samui ambled to the exit of the kitchen and stopped when she walked past Itachi. She's right. Naruto might trust you, but we don't. Big sisters are watching you. Harabelle pushed herself away from the countertop and followed Samui. I trust Naruto-sama's judgment, but if you do betray us, then you better be ready to pay for the consequences. Itachi was impassive and walked into the kitchen, only to see Ulquiorra sipping his coffee overdosed by sugar. Itachi opened the cabinet stationed on the walls and shuffled the contents for more Pocky. He found the additional packets and his eyes glinted with victory before settling down on a vacated seat. Ulquiorra stirred his coffee and gracefully placed his spoon on the saucer plate. Are you not concerned about them? I do not intend to betray Naruto-sama. It is only in due time will they trust me. I understand. Itachi chewed on his Pocky with delight. And with this, I have nothing to fear, no. With Paki, I will never betray Naruto-sama. This packet of wonder. Ulquiorra noticed the Paki and realized something. I never have Paki before. It looks tasty and sweet. You have eyes for things. Itachi smirked. Do you want one? Sure. Naruto and Shizen were in their laboratory. The blonde was still refining some of the machineries that were utilized to create Arrancars, and Shizen was on her own workstation, constructing her own medicines. Say, Naruto-sama, how do you actually thought of becoming an Arrancar? I mean, this is most extraordinary, but how do you actually thought of such idea? Let's just say, when you reach to the rank of the Majesty, you lose the sense of thirst. I do not hunger soul anymore. It is like fulfilling the gauge meter of your power. Once it is fulfilled, there isn't any need to become stronger. I can't get any stronger, but I can't get any weaker now. Naruto sighed. It's like my evolution has ceased to exist. When I become what I am, I want to help others. I learn of hollows that are not evil by nature, but tainted by the horror of this desert. I want to change that. So you're saying that Itachi is not evil? I'm saying that Itachi has been living a life of lies. I do recognize his surname. The Uchiha clan once flourished the lands as competent mercenaries. However, they became extinct when a member of their clan betrayed them. Naruto said quietly, Itachi Uchiha. Shizen finished for the blonde. However, that is not entirely the case. Itachi did not massacre his clan for power. I do not know the reason, but I can tell he is still seeking redemption for what he has done. I am willing to provide him the path for redemption. Naruto continued to drill the screw into the machine with his screwdriver. Aren't you being too kind? Shizen furrowed her brows as she situated her flask of chemical on the table. You never know whether he will sell us out to Danzo or not. Truthfully, I don't care. Danzo doesn't have the resource to do what I have done. And he is pretty much a coward. He doesn't dare to come to my territory. Not when I'm around. Besides, I'm the one who tore off that arm of his. Naruto smirked. He starts to fear me after that little wake-up call I have given to him. You did that? But I've heard that Danzo has some special abilities that allow him to be untouchable. Yes. I fought him a few times. That ability of him is pretty annoying. He is able to warp reality and turn it into an illusion. In another word, if you stab him in the eye, he might look dead but he isn't. It's quite strange really, but nothing biggie though. The only way to fight him is overwhelming power and speed. Naruto elaborated. The time span for him to use his ability is 10 seconds per intervene. Hence, he is rendered useless for 10 seconds after he performs that trick of his. During these 10 seconds, his fighting style is always about distracting his enemies. Whoa, you can go toe-to-toe to someone like him. Why didn't you kill him? Shizen arched a brow. He's evil. Evil or not, I still don't like the idea of killing someone. The blonde tossed the screwdriver to a nearby basket and ambled to his leather chair. As long as he doesn't provoke me, I won't attack him. That's the deal I made with him and his army. I don't care whether he has a grudge with others, as long as he doesn't come near my territory. I don't care what he's doing. But why allow someone like him to be roaming in this world? And who gives me the right to warrant the fate of others? Naruto grinned as he threw his arms behind his head. I am born to be a destroyer, but that doesn't mean I can go around and play God with people's lives. I promote freedom, and that's why I allow Itachi to live with us. In due time, he will give us the truth, the reason of his doing, and he will become a comrade. Sure, anything you say, Naruto-sama. Shizen was skeptic. Trust me, Shirchan. There is no miscalculation. It was then the entire mansion shook vigorously by a powerful force of spiritual pressure. Shizen gasped. This power, there are so many hollows. Naruto jumped to the gigantic computer and punched in several codes through the keyboard. Cortana, activate the barrier. Put in another layer of spiritual pressure repellent barrier as well. Enko slammed open the door and yelled. We have trouble. I know. God. How many times did I tell you not to yell in my damn lab? Naruto growled and rested on the couch. What are you doing, Naruto-kun? Mai-sama is fighting that old fart. We have to help her. It's none of my business. They can do whatever they want, and I can care less about the outcome. The blonde shut his eyes. You're unbelievable. We need to. Nobody gets out of the mansion. I have activated the barrier. Even if you try to get out, the barrier will stop you. Enko screamed her annoyance aloud and ran out of the laboratory. Shizen sighed and queried. Are you not going to do something about it? No. The blonde stood up, dusted his pants, and walked out of the chamber. I'll go take a walk. Staying in the mansion all day is dulling my senses. Shizen nodded and smiled. Naruto dug his fists into his pockets and strolled out of the doorway, only to be stopped by Ulquiorra, who was standing behind him. What are you doing, Naruto-sama? Taking a walk? Ulquiorra sighed and nodded. I understand. Monitor Itachi. Do not let him leave the mansion. Yes. Ulquiorra spun around and closed the door. Have a safe journey. The blonde opened a gate from the invisible barrier with his remote and smirked. A war, huh? How amusing. Make iPhone and its magnificent power not. The night was moody. Itachi was hospitalized and everybody was dreadful quiet. Enko snorted in disbelief. Impossible, Naruto sighed. I'm afraid it is. From now on, I forbid anybody to touch it. Harabelle arched a brow. Is the matter so serious? Shizen furrowed her brows. Yes. Itachi now cannot close his eyes and has been mumbling about the game for hours. He only slept just then. Ulquiorra added. Enko huffed. He's just a weakling. I just don't believe this stupid rectangle piece of junk is so addictive. Without hesitation, she grabbed the iPhone on the table, utilized the touchscreen system clumsily, and navigated to the game, Plants vs. Zombies. One day later, Enko's eyes were fixated at the gadget as she kept scrolling and shouting fanatically. Die! Die! Eat plants! The people that passed by her had shook their heads sadly at her. 2 days later, Enko's eyes were baggy, but she was still toying with the game. Suddenly, she jumped happily. Yay! I beat the game! No! I have to beat my previous record, Shizen sighed as she nudged her sister's shoulder. Enko, you've to. No! I'm gonna beat this game. Go away! Enko kept punching her fingers at the gadget, trying to defeat the game once again. 3 weeks later, the afternoon was depressive. Itachi was forced to wear a straitjacket, and Enko was hospitalized. Everybody was irked at the device resting harmlessly on the table. Naruto sighed. Let's burn it. It's evil. It will be a waste though. We finally replicate a mobile device with the touchscreen system. Why not we just lock it up in a cabinet? Shizen suggested. Ulquiorra took the opportunity to stand up and volunteer. I'll safeguard it. The pale Arrancar seized the gadget hastily and left to his room. A month later, Ulquiorra was hospitalized and the gadget was thrown away. Naruto didn't realize that Samui had secretively picked up the device, who caught on to the Mentalist/Big Brother reference. LOL. Can't help myself. Some people agreed that I should bring some add-on from other universe. Some says I shouldn't. I'm open to suggestion because I really don't mind adding other characters from other anime/manga into my FIC. I have ideas how to make a smooth flow for the story with or without add-ons. I was thinking of adding Ain from Dead or Alive and Road Camelot from Greymon. What if Naruto the strongest hollow harem? Thanks for watching my video till the end. If you enjoy this content, then do consider subscribing to my channel, and leave a like if you guys need the next part. Comment down and thanks for watching the video, and see you guys in the next video.